All right. It's it's 8:30 a.m. on a Monday. We don't normally stream at 8:30 on a Monday. Anyways, we started going over Foundry mods last night, and time got away from us, and we must have looked at like, I don't know, 80. I want to say 80, 60, 70, 80. It wasn't even all of the mods. So I'm gonna keep going because I want to finish this. So while I'm still thinking about it, so we're gonna open up our manage modules, and we're gonna continue where we left off. There we go. Let's see. We left off somewhere in the M's. Yeah. So amongst token bar down here at the bottom is where we left off. So next up is Moulinette. So what does Moulinette do? Why do I have all these Moulinette things? We got Moulinette core, Moulinette game art icons, Moulinette image search, Moulinette scenes, Moulinette scribe, Moulinette sound and sound pad, Moulinette tiles, Moulinette tokens. What is Moulinette, and why do I have all of this stuff? So Moulinette is a Patreon account that is friends with other Patreon accounts. I guess he's kind of like a Patreon pimp. I don't know. And it's not a nice thing to say, but basically, he has a program that allows you to access other. Hey, what's up, Dom? You jumping in to chat? I'm talking about Moulinette right now. So I was hesitant to get into Moulinette. Caden X recommended this, God, maybe 6 months ago, and I was like, it's all right. I don't know. It's really good, y'all. It's really, really good. It can save you a ton of time on prep, but it's one of those things that rewards money. If you have money, it's going to make your life better. If you don't have money and you generally do everything for free, it's maybe not going to be that great. It doesn't even want a lot of money. But basically, what it does is every other paid Patreon account that you support, if they are partnered with Moulinette, you'll be able to access their stuff. That means tokens, art, maps, music, all that stuff. So over here, if I go to my Moulinette menu, which is this little hammer, so they've got a prefab setting under tokens. And in here, I could search for stuff. So right now I'm searching for prefabs, but I can also search for scenes and sounds and tiles and tokens. I can search for icons. Yeah. I don't know if I have any icons available. Oh, I guess I do. All right, so this will search all of these icons. Now, if I was backing somebody on Patreon whose entire shtick was making cool icons, this would allow me to look up all the icons that I have access to, including theirs. So we got image search here. Let's see. So if you were backing somebody on Patreon and their entire deal was that they just made art and they were partnered with Moulinette, you could do that. If I'm looking for scenes, maybe I'm looking for a tavern map, I could just type in tavern and hit enter. And then it would show me all the taverns that I have available. Now, what's cool about this is that these taverns are already, like, these maps, these scenes, they tell you what they have on them. See, this already has walls and lights. This has walls, lights, music, and a journal entry, like, already built into it. Or, I believe, it already has teleporters set up in it. So, the journal, I think the journal thing is actually short for multi-token, or multi-level token. So, which we haven't talked about yet. If I go to my scenes, and we'll just throw this into towns for now. If I drag this one over, this is the one I want. So I'm going to select it, and you don't drag it. Sorry, you get import scene, And now it will do all the stuff it has to do to get the scene over to my world. So any day now, it'll be over there. And that's going to end up in, I believe, a folder called Towns and Buildings. I think it even respects the previous hierarchy, but we'll see. It's still working in the background. You can see all the loading messages. It has to go and grab all these different files, all these different things from his server, and then it brings it over to your server, and then it uploads it in there. But it is like a lot of loading and waiting around for things to get set up, depending on how complicated the scene is. But I think it's just about done. Let's see. All right, so there's Moulinette, Bailey Wiki maps, and the tavern and yawning portal. So if I close out of this and I go over there, it's already ready to go. So if I dragged an actor onto the scene, and some of these Moulinette scenes, they even have actors already set to go. So if I grab Test Dummy and I drop him into the scene, you can hear that there's music and sound built into the scene. You can hear that, tavern sounds. He's making his way around. Can't jump into this pit. It's got an invisible barrier there to prevent jumping in. He's going to walk up to these stairs here. And the stairs say that they go to 0 to 10 and stairs 0 to 10. So I'm not sure if we have to go grab the second floor. Sometimes they'll bundle them together. So if a map has like multiple scenes that's related to, it might give you the option to download the entire thing. But if you needed a tavern like in a hurry, I know this is an extremely iconic one of having this here. Oh, you know what? I bet since this is a Bailey Wiki one, he's using like the different heights. So as you change heights, you change what floor you have access to. Yeah. Anyways, you could do this for any creators that you really like who are partnered with Moulinette, and then whenever they make content, you don't have to like set it up in Foundry anymore. You can just go and grab it. It's incredible. So yeah, I don't know. It took me a little while to come around to it, but I really do appreciate it. It's really cool. Moulinette's soundboard, it allows you to actually put 10 different sounds that you really like and have them ready to go for whatever scene you're running, or maybe you just happen to use the same 10 sounds all the time without taking up like space down here in your hotbar. You could just have a sound bar set up with that. You could go in to sounds that they've got, and we want to have a roar, so we're going to search for that. I don't have any of that, so the only two people that I have sound stuff from is Bailey Wiki and BBC sound effects. So again, it's not looking as robust for me because I have kind of toned down the amount of people I'm backing on Patreon. But if you have a lot of money and you're backing a lot of people on Patreon, the Moulinette toolset is going to just save you so much time with everything that you do. It's crazy. All right. So then let's see who's next on the list. That kind of covers like 10 mods, I think. This is a lot of stuff in the Moulinette setup. Let's see. All right. With all of Moulinette out of the way, let's scroll down to Nice More Dice. Nice More Dice is just more dice for Dice So Nice. Multiverse is my own template. My own compendium, and it's just where I stuff a bunch of stuff that I use for my games. The ability to make custom compendiums like that, I believe the way I'm doing it is through the Forge VTT. Parallaxia. All right. So Parallaxia is good stuff. It basically allows you to make a tile scroll. And we did this the other day in Yawn. It's a pretty cool effect of just having like a cliffside, and it just looked like the cliffside was scrolling forever to show that they were kind of walking along the cliffside. The most popular thing, of course, would be like if you had a ship or something like that. So let's see what we could do here. Tile, template, wide. There we go.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, man?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm okay. I want to just get through this. I don't want it to hang over my head. I want to say that I at least went through and looked at all my mods, so I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Even if I don't. All right. So for I just talked about Moulinette and how it's very much like the more money you have, the better it is. Yeah. So if you have like particular Patreons that you just love and you find out that they are working with Moulinette, you might as well go sign up for Moulinette, because then you can get access to all their stuff already pre-lit, already pre-walled, without having to stress about it. In a way, I almost feel like whether or not you are partnered with Moulinette would be a big determining factor moving forward of whether I backed your Patreon or not. If I knew that backing your Patreon also meant that I got all the maps automatically lit and automatically walled, it's a good chance I'd sign up for it, because the amount of time you can save, especially on a complicated map, might be worth it. Of course, the example I used is Bailey Wiki, and he had to, of course, have like stacked maps with teleportation heights and like shifting viewpoints based on height, and yeah. It had to be the most complicated possible setup. Yeah. I hope Heroic Maps teams up with Moulinette, because they're really nuts about Foundry, and I've pointed it out to them a couple times, but maybe I'll ask them one more time if they could partner with Moulinette, because that would be amazing to get their stuff already walled and lit, because their maps are so organic, and like the walls are so like jagged and all over the place. It's such a hassle to light those maps, and the sheer quantity of doors on those maps. So many doors. All right. So Parallaxia, I'm gonna go into my tile browser. I'm gonna go to maps, and I'm gonna go grab some sky, and I'm just gonna drop this sky down here. And all you do to turn it on is you get a tile. Hopefully that tile is what's called a repeating texture. If you're Googling for something, definitely Google repeating texture. If you know how to use Photoshop, it's actually relatively easy to make a repeating texture, but we're not going to cover that today. So when you have your file, you're going to place the tile down, you're going to right-click, and there'll be a little waterfall. You're going to click that waterfall, and right away, it starts scrolling. And that's it. Now you have like an animated background, or whatever it is you need for your thing. There's a lot more you can do to it, but generally that's it. If you want to change the direction it's going, the first one is X, so that's left and right, and the second one is Y. And the bigger the number, the faster it goes. Negative goes to the left or down, and positive goes to the right or up. So if we set this to 0, it'll stop moving. If we do negative 150, oh, I guess negative is up, my bad. So it'll start scrolling like really, really fast. You can go nuts and have it be like 500. Now they're like zooming through the air. You could even go like 1,000, high-speed chase. Yeah. It's really good. I feel like this should kind of be a static feature, but I could understand why they would leave this particular one out, because, you know, you don't want to bloat your core program. And certainly being able to scroll background textures is sort of a bells and whistles extras kind of thing. So, yeah.
I think like the core solution of this is that they allow you to use video files as tiles and background. So like, okay, but still, I would like to have this as.
I think that this is less resource intense than a video background.
I guess if it was built into core, it probably would be,
Mm-hmm.
but like as a mod, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's very situational too. I very rarely am like, oh, I definitely need this, but I've used this
But when you do want it to use it, it makes a good
it's got
impression.
a good wow factor without having to go and like render out a video. Essentially, it's a very cheap solution for animated backgrounds, and I really like it. All right, after that is perfect vision. Now that's got to be a core feature in 10, right? Perfect vision.
It is.
All right, so core feature. All right, so we don't really need to talk about it, but because by the time a lot of people see this recording, they're going to already be on Foundry 10. But
or they're not going to be at Foundry 10 because they want to keep better roles, you know.
Oh, true. So Orf was saying that maybe money would solve that problem. Like,
I mean, if it did, I'll be down to.
Yeah, I'd have a charity fundraiser to get money for better roles. I mean, I'd run a bunch of games one weekend and just donate all the money to get better roles up and running if that's like an actual thing that they'll do. I don't know how much money they need to fix better roles, but I mean, I guess we should put the offer out there. Now, Perfect Vision, if you didn't know, it is a mod that sort of like showed up, I want to say not super early on, but pretty early on in Foundry, and it just gets more and more advanced all the time. And it controls vision and how vision is interpreted by a player and the actor that they have selected. And so it adds so much immersion to the game, and it handles like low light and dark vision so well, just so much better than anything that you would have in like Core Foundry or Roll20, which is why it's now a part of Core Foundry. So there's not too much else to say about Perfect Vision since it's going to be a static feature now. All right, next up is Permission Viewer. I think Permission Viewer is really cool. Basically, it makes a little like, well, I don't actually remember what it.
Button.
Yeah, it just has a little share button.
So share button next to you, next to stuff.
So if you wanted to make Test Dummy available to everybody, you could just click on the little dot, and it would pull this up, and it would show who has access to it, and then you could go in and change who has access and who doesn't have access on the fly. That's it. That's what it does. It's pretty cool. Just a real quick UI feature to let you go in and save some time on a mini. And then if nobody has permission, you just get this weird sort of link looking symbol. And if you click on it, you can go in and you can change it. That's it. Permission Viewer. It's really cool.
And honestly, I don't know why this is not a core Foundry feature in 10.
Yeah, like all the UI quality of life improvements, it feels like it wouldn't be that hard to just include them in the thing. And I definitely am realizing going over this list that the majority of mods that I use are just UI options for players. Yeah. I didn't really realize just how many were like that. All right, so let's go to the big old El Surveil map, because we're going to show off Pin Coushin. So Pin Coushin is really neat. You can turn a journal entry into something so much more. So for example, if I zoom in here on the town of Drellin's Ferry, I have a little marker here that's got a picture of Drellin's Ferry. And if I click on it, it opens the journal entry to Drellin's Ferry. And that's only the beginning, because if you have other mods at play, you can use Pin Coushin to essentially turn your entire Foundry into like an interactive website. It's amazing. But at its core functionality, what I use it for is when I'm not super lazy or when I have enough time because I'm caught up on prep on my other 5 games, I might go into a game and every single town, I might go and drag out the journal entry for that town, put a cute little picture that sums up the town. Now that we got Midjourney and these other AI bots, easier than ever to just go have it generate a picture of a Dungeons & Dragons village for you. And you put it in there, you provide a little description, and then you enable permissions for players. You might only make these available as they arrive at the town. And then when they get to the town, they can double click on it and access it. Within a town, you could use this as a method of creating roleplay scenes. So you don't want to have the interior of the potion shop as a map because you don't want people to think it's time to fight, right? But they might want to see what the interior of the potion shop looks like, and they might want to know what the prices are of goods. You have a journal entry. The journal entry talks about the name of the shop. It talks about the purveyor of the shop. It says what they have in stock, and there's a picture of the shop. And then when the players go there, whoever's doing the streaming could like double click and access the picture. You yourself could open it up and then hit show players, and now they see, oh, this is where we're at. Just an incredible way to add further immersion to a scene. So Pincushion is really good.
So keep in mind that the journals and having players click on it and opening stuff up, that's all core stuff. What Pincushion does, it allows you to change the picture or what that journal entry that you're clicking on looks like.
Yeah. Right. Which, I think makes it even more immersive because instead of just having a default icon here, you can go in and have literally anything you want for this.
Yeah, anything you want, yeah. You can even have a video.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Ooh, that is pretty cool, actually. Or a GB, well, yeah, the animations are technically videos, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, a very simple mod that just adds a little bit more immersion to your UI. All right, now we got pings. Tell me, is pings in 10?
Yes.
Okay. So there's nothing to talk about, but it took 10 versions of Foundry for this to finally be added. This is just, I click, and I hold down the button, and people can see what I'm clicking at. I click and hold shift, or I shift and hold click, and then we go to the place that I'm clicking at.
Another cool thing about 10 too is that the way pings work is that if somebody pings off your screen, it shows a little arrow of what they're pointing at. Like,
oh, so you don't have to go that direction.
Yeah, like if you're like, I'm zoomed in on Drones Ferry and you're pinging over there on my screen, I just see a pink arrow pointing in the direction that you're pinging.
Very
cool. If you do the shift ping thing and it forces everybody's view there, it still does that.
Awesome. Yeah. So, not much to say. If you're not on 10, go download pings. If you are on 10, you're going to have it by default. Next up is Point of Interest Teleporter. So this is the one that helps you turn your journal entry map markers into teleporters. This is something that is being used through Benios Maps, for example. He has it set up that if you have this mod set up properly, which I currently don't, but if you have it set up properly in your world, you might have a map of the world like this, and if I double click on Drellin's Ferry, it might just take me into Drellin's Ferry.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what allows you to kind of turn your Foundry into like a functional website, essentially. So let me bring up the official words on it real quick, because I haven't gotten a chance to dig into this one yet. Point of Interest Teleporter. It's really cool, especially if you don't care about your players just like going wherever they want in the world or in a town. Create map pins that can be used to navigate between scenes. When there is a map note for a journal entry, and that entry is in the scenes note for a scene, the map note gains a context menu. This menu has options to activate, view, or toggle navigation for that scene. Additionally, as a convenient feature, there's a new option in the scene directory context menu to create the scene note for a scene in a single click. Well, holy shit, you all. So let me try that out, honestly. Let's go to... Now that my group is leaving Drellin's Ferry and probably won't return, this is a great time to set this shit up. All right, so we're going to configure it. Where is the section for notes? Let's see.
So if you go to the scene, when you go like right click and configure the scene.
There, create scenes notes. All right. So here we would just. Oh, I see. let's go over to the Journals tab then. Go and grab Trellon's Ferry.
It's gonna be for me. It's under ambient.
I'm already
you just drop down which journal you want it to be.
Oh, you can?
Yeah. So if you go to the scenes, go to the scene of Trellon's Ferry, the scene that you want them to go to, and then hit the configure, and then under the ambient tab, like where you're changing grid size and stuff like that. The ambient.
Yeah.
And then there should be a journal entry. You just hit the drop down and pick the journal entry from there.
Oh. Okay. Let's see. So I go to Trellon's Ferry, and I go to grid ambience. All right. Yeah, there we go. And the journal entry just shows up there. You can pick any journal entry you want. Got it. Cool. All right. So now that we have a journal entry here, will this take us to the scene?
You might need to do the right-click thing now. I don't know.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Let's see. Go over to Journal. And Trellon's Ferry. We're going to drag this one out. And let's see. Change out this for this. Oh, shit. I hit the wrong button. Select and show tooltip an explicit image instead of a linked image. Wow. Okay. So anyways, we got this one. We right click on it. It just gave me the option to hide it. I'm not sure I'm setting it up right. This is on my list of things to figure out for the Curse of Strahd game, because a bunch of stuff has this sort of built in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see something.
Okay. All right, directions. To begin using point of interest teleporter, first assign a journal entry as the scene notes for a scene. You can do this by editing the scene or selecting the journal entry you would like from the list. Or you can right-click on the scene, choose Create Scene Notes. You can verify this has been set correctly by right-clicking the scene in the navigation bar, and it should list Scene Notes.
Oh, maybe it's not journal, it's Scene Notes. I've never heard of Scene Notes before. Is that something?
All right. Scene Notes. There we go. So where the heck are these scene notes being stored? And what do we got to do to make them happy? Let's see. Okay, let's keep going. Once the scene note has been set to a particular journal entry, you can create a map note for that journal on any scene. This map is not like any other. What? No, this map not is like any other. God damn it.
Probably meant to say note.
Yeah. This map note is like any other, except you can now right-click on the note to reveal context menu with options. I did not get that option. Let's see. Oh, okay. So we have different map notes here. Because one of them is Trellon's Ferry down here at the bottom, and then one of them is Trellon's Ferry up here in locales. I'm going to delete the one in locales so that there's less confusion here. And let's see. Go over here and delete that one. Start fresh. Here we go. If we right-click on this, it's got split journal, duplicate, whatever. All right, drag it out. And let's see. Options here, preview, blah, 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 just like every other map note, blah, blah, blah. Update. Now, when I right-click on it, I do not get any options.
Yeah, it's because it's saying it's like what I'm trying to find out is what is a scene note.
Oh, if you do not see a context menu when you right-click on the map note, double check that the map note is the same journal entry as the scene note for the scene you want to connect to. it must be the same journal entry, not a copy, and the journal entry must be set. All right, so let's see. Going to go in here, going to go to scene notes. Going to select Drellin's Ferry. Yeah. All right, what are we doing wrong here? Configure, ambience, turn it off. Scroll down to the bottom here. Drellin's Ferry. Save changes? Nope. Alright. I don't know why it's not working. Yeah. I feel like we just followed all the instructions. Double click the map note. The same, it must be the same journal entry, not a copy, and the entry must be.
I wonder if this thing doesn't work with like Monk's journals or something like that.
Maybe. Oh, if maybe one of the other mods we have is like causing an issue. Yeah. The best way to test it would be to go to like a test world where you only have that particular mod turned on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we could do that real quick.
I mean, honestly, a way you can do this without using this is just put a little drawing square around this map note and say multi-level token.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Or, I don't know, here's a wild-ass thing. You just go over to the right-hand side and you click on the map you want to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like
I don't know. It's crazy. I know. It's kind of nuts. That's probably what's causing the conflict, honestly. There is a part of me that wants to go into a test world and check it out, but... I'll do it off stream, though. I'll do it later. All right, so... Don't worry about points of interest teleporter, but that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to create map notes that when you click on them, it takes you to other places, which is really cool and would, in a way, sort of alleviate the need for multi-level token tool, but I feel like multi-level token tool is better.
Well, multi-level token tool works in scenes. This works in between scenes.
Oh, actually, I skipped right over multi-level token tool. I went right from Moulinette to Multiverse and then went on. So I should probably backtrack for multi-level token tool. All right. So what does multi-level token tool do? Okay. The most important thing, the most important thing that multi-level token tool does is teleporters. That's the most important thing that it does. Trying to think of a map that I have in Red Hand that I could show this off without spoiling too much of Red Hand for everybody. I could just make one real quick. All right, so we'll go down to the Drellin docks. And I apparently just have this like quest thing open forever now. So I guess just hang out over there, buddy.
I think there's a button inside the journal section on the left-hand side. And there's like a it looks like a calendar.
Oh, yeah. I see it now. Okay, thank you. All right, so here is a place where we could put teleporters. This was the docks, and there were some rum gremlins that were living under the docks. So what we could do is we go to the pencil, and we go to either the polygon or the shape tool, and we would take this and make a little square. That seems pretty easy, right? Then we figure out where we want it to go, and we would draw another shape over there. So I want it to pop them out in here. So now it's going to go from there to there. So I'm going to double click on the shape that I just made, and I'm going to go all the way to the right to multi-level token tool. I'm going to turn on in and out because it's a two-way teleporter. I'm going to give it the identifier of docks. Snap into grid is fine. It just means that it's going to try and make sure that they fit within a grid if possible. This is very useful to prevent your teleporter from spilling people out into the boundaries or off map or getting stuck into walls and things like that. You can animate the movement, which is actually kind of dope, but in this case we don't want that to happen because then they're just going to like fly across the screen, smashing through and teleporting through walls and all that jazz. We just want them to teleport from one place to the other, so we're going to leave animate movement off. And then if you don't have activate via map note, they will just move into it, disappear, and reappear over there, which I'll show right now. So we also want to make sure that it's scene local. If it's not scene local, it will look through every single scene that you have in your Foundry world for other teleporters that match the teleporter identifier. This can actually be really cool because you can have a big ass dungeon like Mad Mage, and people can teleport between all of the different maps. I use this for like an 8-story cloud castle that I used for 2 different games, because shit, you set up an 8-story cloud castle, you might as well use it for 2 different games. And it allowed you to kind of teleport from map to map, from scene to scene, from location to location. It was really, really cool. All right, so if I go here and hit update, now we got that. We got to go over here and copy the same information. Now you can actually, nowadays, just copy the object itself and then paste it. But I want to make sure that they match up. So they both say docs. To make sure that this is exactly correct, you may want to select it, copy and paste it. And then it's snapping and it's local, and I hit update. So now, whenever somebody walks into this teleporter area, they will teleport across. And that's it. Very simple teleporter. Good stuff. Well, they're exploring the docks. I don't want them to accidentally discover the creature's lair. So what we could do is we go and make a journal entry called teleport. And then I have one called teleport GM only that only I can see. So if you put teleport with everyone having permission to view it, and then you put it onto the scene, when they move into the box, the teleporter essentially button will appear, and then they can click the button and they can go. If you put the DM one down, they'll move into the teleporter, but they won't see the button. You as the DM could then go in and set the and click the teleporter, or you could change the permissions on the teleporter so that they can see it. There's a lot more control there about whether they go over to the new area or not, which is pretty cool. Now, in order to enable that, we'd have to go back in, go to the multi-level section, and we have to turn on activate via a map note. And then we hit update, and it doesn't have to be on both sides either, but I'm going to make it on both sides. And then we're going to go over here and do that. I'm going to go grab the teleporter, drop it in. Generally, you want to make these as small as possible. The smallest you can make it in Foundry, I believe, is 32 pixels. So shrink it down, and then put another one over here. And now there's an actual clickable button here. And yeah, you probably want to change it out so it's not a book, but it is what it is. So you can see that when Orion moved in, he didn't teleport. He has to hit the button now. And when he hits the button, he teleports. Something to note is everyone who's standing in the zone will get teleported over.
So that happens if the GM is the one who clicks the button.
Oh, not if the players? Okay.
So if a player sits inside there and hits it, they're only going to teleport whatever they own.
Whew, okay, that's good. All right.
Problem is GM owns everything, so if they press it, everybody's in there.
Gotcha. And even Big Boy, right? Like Claude is only halfway in. He hits the teleporter. It still tries its best to get him over to the new scene. So very cool. What else can multi-level token tool do? Gosh, the sky is the limit, folks. But
what I use it for is changing elevation on a scene. Like, say you need there's an area that's supposed to be higher than another area. You can use multi-level token to draw the outline of that area that's supposed to be higher, and then set it up so that when somebody enters it, a macro plays, and then there's a macro that lets you change elevation.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah.
So in multi-level, that would be macro trigger. Triggers on entering, and then also triggering on leaving.
Yep.
Okay. And then you go and grab the macro. So you could have an area on your map that's like fire, and then they walk in, their miniature bursts into flames kind of thing.
You could, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I bet we could do that right now. Hold on. Let's see.
And for macro is just a copy paste the name.
All right. So grab burning, and we'll go here, and we'll just copy paste the name burning. That's it.
If the macro is just called burning, it has to be exactly what the macro's name.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, so we're going to trigger on enter and on leave, and we're going to go here and put burning. And we're going to put update. And now when they walk into this, they will start burning. But for full effect, we should probably go grab like a burning from JB2A. Can we quickly search for that using sequencer? Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go grab fire, and let's see. We'll do fire orange. No, what? Those are bolts. My bad. We want actual fire. Fireflies. Wall of fire.
There's a lot of fires in
There's a
GTA,
lot
so,
of fire, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
I have a hard time.
There's got to be a way we could look it up quickly. Campfire,
maybe? Like camp, yeah. Maybe if you type in camp, it might.
No, that's an actual campfire.
Brazier, maybe, I don't
know. Let's see. Flames?
Maybe
there
flames,
we go. Flames is the secret we're looking for. All right, cool. Okay, so we're going to just take the file path and copy it. And then we go over here. And we should shortcut right to it. No? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we'll go ahead and throw some fire in here. This building on fire. It's got sideways fire. It's the most dangerous fire in the world. I mean, it's a top-down map, so I guess the fire could technically go sideways. Anyways, let's set Jert on fire. And so Jert's like, hey, let's do this. What? Aw, it didn't burst him into flames. What are we doing wrong here? Let's see. I only ever use it for teleporting. Oh, and for what is it? Cloning. I use it for cloning too.
I'm surprised it's not like for me.
Oh, it didn't actually. No, here it is. Trigger a macro when they enter. Macro name is burning. And search macros. Burning. It's kind of weird. Oh, maybe I should make sure that the macro actually works. Yeah, it does. Oh.
I wonder why it's not working. Why it's not triggering for you.
That's weird.
Let me check something. Is my what'd you call it? The elevation still working?
Is there some other thing I'm supposed to click here?
I know for the macro, the elevation.
Oh,
macro,
it says here you have to have MLT enter. The event variable will take one of the values, enter and leave or move. So do we have to have it set up for that?
So when I for the elevation one, I have to put in the number of for the additional arguments. I have to put in the elevation for the change. And it doesn't. I don't think it doesn't work if I don't put anything in there. But I feel like burning doesn't have any extra arguments. Should just trigger the macro. So I'm not sure why it's not.
Weird.
Let me try one of. Let me take out here.
Oh, while you're doing that, I'm trying to think of a map that uses top-down cloning that would work really good.
That's still working. Let me make one for burning.
We got bloom. We got polymorph. Let's see. Hey, polymorph works.
When he step in, polymorph works?
Yeah, when he steps into the fire, he turns into a roast chicken.
Yes, I don't know why burning's not working.
Huh, that's weird. That's really cool, though, that it's, let's see. What other one could we do? Dead? I'll see if, like, walking in kills you. There we go. Multi-level, token tool. Dead. Maybe it has to do with the, token effects? Oh, yeah, because it's not applying this token effects to him. I wonder what it is about these that it doesn't work with the multi-level token tool. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, weird. So apparently it works, but only with certain macros or macros that are set up to do a certain thing. But still pretty useful.
If you want that change elevation macro, I'll send it over.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Now within within this tool set, multi-level token tool, there is an option here called levels. So tokens moving onto an @stairs token will automatically be teleported to any other @stairs token at the same relevant position with a numerically adjacent level region. So this is what I believe Bailiwiki uses to stack maps on the same scene, or in tandem with something else to stack maps on the same scene. Kind of allows you to increase your height, but also travel to a different area on the same scene, which is kind of nuts. So what is token cloning for? Token cloning is maybe you have a tavern and the tavern looks down on the area below. This allows you to sort of be upstairs, but then see what's moving and happening downstairs. So you're looking down at tokens as they move around, and it's the same. If it's not name, it might need an active effect for it. Oh, okay. All right. Where would we get an active effect for it? Oh, you mean it might want to actually call the active effect itself and not the burning macro. Got you. Okay. That's really smart, Zuri. Hold on. Let me check. Let's see. We want to go to compendium and we want to go to FX master. No. Where's the
I tried it with one of my effects too. For I'm also under the horn buff, so I try to make an area that it turns on the horn buff when they step into it, and it gives me a warning that says that the macro syntax is not there's an error with the macro syntax. So I guess there's something inside the macro that makes it so that when it triggers off of this thing, multi-level token, it doesn't work.
Well, I'm trying to figure out where the token effects.
Oh, do you have two burnings? Because you would have to have it inside your thing anyways, and then you found it with quick insert.
You think that's causing some confusion there?
Maybe, like if you type burning into your search bar right now for your macro directory, maybe you'll see two burning there.
All right, let's see. I got burning aura glow, burning hands, and another burning aura glow. So what if we use the name burning aura glow instead? Let's see. But how?
Try that one, burning aura glow.
There we go. All right.
I wanted to jump on and ask, do you have that at the end of your macro? You have to have that argument where if you turn the macro on again, it turns it off. Is that at the end of your macro?
I think we have it all.
But it was happening. It was happening automatically for the what is it? The polymorph one was happening automatically. All right, let's have guy move in. Nope. All right. Weird.
Do you need to like duplicate it and give it a completely different name, like burning alive Exa or FX?
Yeah, we could try. Here we go.
So yeah, I'm trying with some of the stuff on my things, but none of them. All my effects macros, I renamed the little thing inside to be the name that I have it here, and it's still not working. And it just tells me I have a syntax error with my macro. But if I use the macro normally by itself, it works.
All right. So if
I think there's just something between.
If I apply this to guy and I do on fire. All right. And we apply it to guy. Does he burst into flames? No. Oh. Execute macro. Oh. Oh, it just gives his outer border. It's not the same as the lighting one. Still though, it should fucking apply when he walks into the fire.
This is a terrible suggestion and will probably take a lot of work. If your polymorph macro is working perfectly, can you change the filter ID to the filter ID of the burning one you want to use, and like make a Frankenstein macro out of that one?
Oh my god. Maybe? Look, see? He walk in, he turned into turkey or chicken. He walk out, it's fine. All I put is the word polymorph. I didn't have to put any arguments or tags or anything.
What's inside? What can you
well, I just broke it. Now he's a turkey forever.
Oh no.
It reversed the streams. All right. You want me to open the polymorph thing up?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, hold on. Edit. There we go.
You stepped in too fast. Now it's backwards.
All right. So let's see. Code. A lot of just explanation about how this code works. But this is from TokenFX. So
yeah, that's what I'm wondering what
are they doing right that the other ones aren't? And also, what happened to our TokenFX like compendium?
It's still there. It should still be there.
Is that because
Token Magic?
There we go. There we go. So let's grab something fresh from there and see if it works.
Yeah.
So let's see. Devouring Fire. I'm going to drag this down. Like so. And then if we copy this name, Devouring Fire, it should work. We're so determined to set Guy on fire here. Alright. Going down to the bottom. Swapping out Polymorph for that. Update. Guy. Walk into the flames. Yep, I get the same error. You have a macro syntax error.
Yeah, there's something. I mean, it works for set elevation, which is what I mainly use it for. But man, I would definitely like to use it to make it so that they step someplace and it does weird stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Huh. Or like you get electrocuted when you go into an area.
Yeah.
All right. What if we change the name to?
I guess the way I could do that is just have an invisible actor with an aura.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
It's not as cool though. Let's see.
It seems like easier to set up.
All right. If we do, let's see. Like, I think if all of it was broken, I'd feel better about it. The fact that the fucking chicken polymorph works and the rest of them don't is making me super mad. But not mad enough, Orf, to go through and look line by line about what's different in the code and why one might be working and one might not be working. Because I just don't care that much about it. If I have to do programming, I'm done. It's not that I don't know how to program, I just don't like to program. Alright. So, anyways, if you're doing the cloning thing, I'm trying to think of a map that might already have one set up. It would definitely be a saloon, but I don't want to bring a saloon map in from a previous one and have it be all broken and shit. Like the Shadow Skull Saloon, that's a good one, but I can't remember if it has weather or not. And if it has weather, it's going to break because it's from a much earlier version of Foundry. Do we take?
You have the Maze Coliseum. That one had a bunch of teleporters on it.
Well, teleporters. I'm looking for the cloning. I was going to show like how the cloning works.
It's not Witchlight. I was going to say the mirror
wait,
maze.
Maybe Moulinette already has one. Let's go to scenes and we'll do saloon and search. Maybe. Are you doing anything right now? Are you contemplating looking it up? Oh, it did. Okay, hold on. I wasn't patient enough. All right. Now the question is, these are mine. That's referencing. I wish there was a way to know if it had weather or not. Let's take the risk. So it's going to start importing and all that jazz. And good. All right. Please don't die. Oh, all right, sweet. No weather enabled. Oh, man, this should take me back. Wow. Okay, so you see how on the second floor we can see all these people down there? But, like, I can't actually do anything with these people. That's because those aren't real. Those are clones. Up here, if I move this lady around...
The memories.
Yeah. Oh, man. My heart. That's okay, because I'm going to do my Planescape West Marches, and it's going to be fucking amazing. Alright. So this person's moving around, and then she moves underneath the balcony, and we can't see her anymore. And then she moves in, and you can see her. I don't know how best to do this without zooming, like, too far in, because, yeah. It's just really, really cool. It's a little bit of work to set up, but honestly... It's such a cool effect. And then she just stepped onto a teleporter, so she's not downstairs anymore. She's upstairs. And then she's going to step on the teleporter to go downstairs, and she's downstairs. Multi-level token tool is awesome. It's one of the best mods. All right. So that's multi-level token tool. Let's get back to work. Manage module. Wow, the music I'm listening to is very dramatic. Hold on. It's a little too, it's too intense for this early in the morning. All right, cool. So next up, we've got scroll. We went back up for multi-level, so now we go back to the P's. PopOut. This is not standard yet for some reason, but PopOut allows you to pop out whatever window you have open into another window, and if you've got multiple monitors, you can have your character sheet off to the side. You could have important handouts off to the side. If you're a DM that doesn't use the GM screen, this could be very useful for you for putting stuff onto your side monitors so that you could reference it. Heck, if you do use it, you could still put stuff off on the side menus. I, for whatever reason, don't use PopOut that much because in the early days, it felt like PopOut would break a lot. And so I got into the habit of not using PopOut. I believe nowadays it's very stable. I don't know. Do you know anybody that uses PopOut?
I think Red might uses it. I think Red uses it.
I think Red and David both use it quite a bit. Yeah. But like, I don't know. It kept breaking, so I got into the habit of not using it. But from what I understand, it works fine now. I probably should have used it when I streamed Red's game of Spelljammer, because then people wouldn't have had to look at Diodario's fucking character sheet the entire time. And that's a complaint I get from people about our actual plays, is they like that they get to watch, but most of us, when we do player streaming, we don't do a great job. Like, none of us are Red. We don't follow the action. We don't like zoom in. I mean, I try, but I got ADHD. So if it's like, unless it's a pretty exciting scene, I might be like, asleep or something. But like, you zoom in, and there's an exchange between these two people, so you want the camera like right up on them as they're like having this conversation or whatever. Or another, a monster's turn comes up, so you zoom out so you can see the monster's turn. There is a mod that does that automatically, so that a player doesn't have to worry about it anymore. But if you add onto it that you're a player and you have the character sheet open, and you've got Animal Companion and you got their character sheet open, and you're looking up a spell, so you have the information on the spell open, everyone just sees you looking at a bunch of menus. And that's why PopOut can be useful for your streaming view player as well. So, I don't know. I don't see the harm in having it installed. It is through the Forge VTT. I'm sure there is a non-Forge VTT equivalent, though, if people are interested in PopOut. All right, let's see. Then we've got Potato or Not. What a fantastic mod, pointed out by Orpheus. So if, let me go to my settings. I should be able to toggle on the dialogue. So when you have Potato or Not, the first time a player logs into your Foundry game, they're going to get this dialogue option. It's going to say, select your computer's quality level. Are you a shitty potato? Are you a potato? Or are you a premium potato? And then it says, if you have a laptop or a low-end computer, use this setting for the best experience. You have a mid-range computer that isn't bad, but it's getting on as yours. That's my computer. And then Premium Potato, your computer is squarely in the PCMR club. And this has been so big for me as far as like helping kind of get a good starting point for my settings. Foundry can be very resource intense depending on what mods your DM is using. So I want everyone to be able to play. And even if that means shitty potato settings, then at least they're able to play. And even shitty potato settings still respects lighting, walls, and all the core features that matter. The only thing that you're losing with shitty potato is you're losing like special effects resolution, animation frames, colored lights, animated lights. You're not getting like all that super fancy stuff, but you're still able to play the game at a Roll20 level of quality, even on shitty potato. I think it's a mod that everybody should install, just so that it helps their players get situated for the best possible play experience. And let's see, quick insert. There's better roles, and right underneath better roles, it's quick insert. What can I say? We already looked yesterday at Compendium Explorer, and I admitted that Compendium Browser is pretty badass. But nothing's better than moving fast. Like, I think that's what Sonic says, something about fast. So what you do is quick insert. It has access to, by default, all of your compendiums, but you can actually tell it to only access certain compendiums if you would like. You can also teach it to only start referencing your compendiums when you ask it to, which is a terrible setting, or you could tell it to immediately start loading up your compendiums as soon as you start playing the game. Best setting. So once you have it set up, you do a hotkey for it, and then if anybody uses a Apple computer, this is very familiar to you. A prompt appears in the middle of your screen, just like an Apple computer, and you just type in the thing you're looking for. You're like, oh shit, what is a fireball? And you type in fireball, and then it looks through all your stuff, and it finds all the things. Did you want the fireball macro? Did you want the 17 different fireballs that Crash stupidly has because he keeps trying to make fresh new compendiums without getting rid of his old compendiums? Do you want the D&D Beyond imported fireball? Do you want the SRD fireball? Anywho, you go and you find the one you want, and then you click on it, you say, yeah, fireball, that's what it does, blah, 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 and then you close it. That was pretty easy, but wait, what else could it do? I'm glad you asked. So let's go and grab Test Dummy. And Test Dummy, as we all know, is a 20th level wizard, so he's pretty much ready to do anything and kick all kinds of butt skis. So we're going to get rid of his, all you guys pushing Test Dummy around, you don't know. You don't know how close to death you are. I mean, he only has 10 HP. But if he wins initiative, he's going to fuck you up. So we go in here and we type Fireball again. And we drag Fireball over. And ta-da! Him have Fireball now. It's that easy. You're building your character and you're like, oh man, you know what? I have that ability, powerful build. I forgot that it needed to be on there. Type in powerful build, drag it over. Oh, I got powerful build now. That's it. So easy. I don't remember what mod does this, but if you go to your inventory tab and you go to grab Fireball and you drag it over from quick insert, it make it into a scroll automatically. Do you remember which mod does that? I can't remember.
I think that might actually be a core thing.
Oh, core thing now? Oh, hell yeah. All right. So yeah, this is good shit. This is good shit, you all. And you're like, wow, quick insert's amazing. I'm glad it does all those things. But wait, it does so much more than that. So if you are, let's say, making a magical item. So he's got this longsword right here. And we are going to make the longsword into a magical item. Right, and then the longsword is going to allow him to cast fireball from the weapon. It's a pretty cool sword actually. It shoots fireballs. Hell yeah. So what we could do in the description is we could say also this sword can cast fireball. So what we do is we do quick insert. Yeah, we do quick insert. You know, it's sword timber. I thought it would have been cool, and I'm just too busy. I hadn't started making short videos yet, but you know what would have been amazing for Sword Timber? Every day you make a YouTube short video on your phone, and you listen to the prompt, and you just bullshit a sword, and that's it. And then you throw the short up. Done. Hey, what's up, Lexaeus? I thought you all went over. No, this is different. We went over our mods, but now we're going over our mods. This is totally different. This isn't just me and Dom dumping our Legos out and geeking out about our Lego collection. That's not what this is. This might be what it seems like to an outside observer, but this is very serious professional Dungeon Master work we're doing right now. Anyways, so we go here and I grab Fireball, and now when I save it out, it says, also, the sword can cast Fireball. What does that mean? Oh, I'll tell you. That's what Fireball is. And that same functionality works in chat. So if a player's like, I don't know what exhaustion is, that comes up a lot. Not obviously not in my Mythic group, but you go here and you type in exhaustion, and then you give them the journal entry, and now they can just click in chat, and that's what exhaustion does, everybody. There we go. Quick insert. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. All right.
Now a longsword that when you hit on a hit, you can trigger a fireball on the person you just hit.
Like centered on yourself. That was an item in Extra Life last year. I don't think anybody got it. It was based on one of the Fire Emblem characters. Yeah. I think it was. I think it was every time you got a crit, it would trigger it would trigger a fireball in addition to the crit.
That's a what's it, Roy? No,
yeah, I think it was one of it. It was one of them muscle sword dudes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Just hit somebody, just explodes.
Speaking of Extra Life, I am so stupidly excited about running my Divinity one shot in 4th edition. Oh my god, I'm so excited about it. I can't describe how excited I am. Divinity 2 plus 4th edition D&D is the absolute perfect match made in heaven. So fucking good. I don't know. I hope it goes well. I hope there's enough interest that I could run it like every day of the Extra Life convention.
You know you should.
I still haven't come around to calling it CrashCon for Extra Life, but I guess that's kind of what it is. So
yeah. You know what else you should run for Extra Life? Princess Ice.
Princess Ice. Oh hell yeah! I could introduce the new character options too.
Yeah.
Because this is the Mind Flayer Barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the Rust Monster. I forget what the Rust Monster is. I think she's a thief. And then there's a Mimic Assassin. Those are the 3 new characters. Yeah. Oh yeah. Really. That'd be hype. Also, it's like the maps I made. It's big enough that it feels different like every time you run it. I was looking at like randomization stuff too, so that it could be sort of run as like a board game. So like all the locations of the MacGuffins and the people are randomly determined when you go to play it. That'd be kind of neat. I also thought I could run a safe place again. I found a safe place stuff when I was going through my drive. That was that 3-room dungeon challenge I did.
Yeah. That was the first game I ever played with.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because for Mythic, I was really trying hard to get like the perfect group composition. So every person that I applied, I played D&D with to see how their playstyle was.
Yeah.
All right. So quick insert is the greatest. It's the best. Better than all the rest. However, unlike Better Rolls, if for some reason they were like, sorry, quick insert's been discontinued, I'd probably cry for a couple of days, but I would still keep going, but not without Better Rolls. Not without Better Rolls. There's also other programs that or mods that are similar to quick insert, just not as good, so I at least would have some backup options. Unfortunately, there's nothing that could take the place of Better Rolls. All right, welcome to our Better Rolls propaganda stream.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know any secret tips and tricks with quick insert that we didn't cover?
No, I think you got everything that I used it for.
Sweet. All right. So then we're on quick module enable. Again, why are my modules so why does my module interface look so good? Because of shit like this.
I just thought of one.
Okay.
If you're building a roll table from scratch. There, you'll be really good there.
Oh yeah.
You can just quick insert, and when you put it in, it actually changes it to whatever. Like instead of it just being text, it will like change it into an actor or change it into the.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow! I didn't know it did all that. Let me see. Create a roll table, and this will be quick insert test. Create. And you're saying I can just click here to add something? And then
where it says where you're typing in, like usually it starts off as text. When you're typing in, if you do quick insert, it should replace it with whatever the thing is.
All right, so fireball. Oh, that is pretty fucking cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh, that is really cool. Oh shit. Oh man, what if you had a consumable magical item that when you crack it open, like it's like a raw chaos, like crystallized raw chaos. You crack it open and it just does a random spell effect, but you don't know what it is until you crack it open. Oh man, you can do all sorts of neat stuff with that. All right. Next up we have quick module enable. So basically, this allows
wild magic.
Oh yes. Basically, this is just another way of managing your modules. So it allows me to filter modules. It allows me to essentially kind of bulk module. I can go to my inactive modules and check those out. I don't know. It's just another way of like sorting through modules. So I don't think that we need like a official thing on here, but quick status select. So quick status select is the thing. I don't remember what this one does. Hold
on. Quick status select. That's the type in when you're searching for a status effect.
Oh, but doesn't it need like a friend to work properly?
Yeah, for some reason it only works when we have Monk's little details installed.
And it sometimes stacks poorly. Like, look at that. When I hit H, like all of them get like stacked up. So if you have things that are the same, like I have Hexblades Cursed and Hexed, they actually get stacked on top of each other now. This happened in a recent update, and I don't know why.
Oh yeah, why does that happen for you?
Is that not happening for you?
Let me find out. Let me check right now, but okay. I don't think I've ever seen that.
It only happened in a recent update. So let me see. Quick insert has options. This one does not. Quick status select is what it is. There are no subsettings for quick insert. Or sorry, for quick. There are settings for quick insert. For quick status select.
Yeah, it doesn't do. I've been, I'm going through everything, all my H's and stuff like that. Hasn't done any stacking, but I don't think I have anything like Hex and then Hexblade Curse, like two of the exact same names.
Right.
In it, so maybe that's it.
Yeah, like it looks fine here when I put in B. It's got black, blue, baned, blah 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 blah. But if I put BL, it really starts kind of smooshing them together. Do I use MIDI quality of life or just better rolls? I use both. I want to start using MIDI a bit more for some of like the busy work things, like a squad of goblins gets hit by a fireball and I want them all to just roll automatically. I don't want players to ever have like automated rolls though. I want D&D to feel like work, so that it's different than a video game. But okay, well I don't know why it's happening, but I mean it's good to be able to search for what you're looking for. This might have to do with one of my other UI mods and like trying to condense text or something. So
I don't know.
All right. Next up, we got Revised Weapons and Equipment Compendium. I really like this. It's basically just a fan-made compendium. It's got these beautiful folders inside. Look at these beautiful folders. Folders inside a compendium. It's so beautiful. Anyways, they just went through and they added some extra items that don't normally exist. And it's just like a really clean presentation of standard equipment. I just think it's really cool and well done. I don't know. Do I really need this? Probably not. I think the main reason I'm keeping it around is I want to figure out how they made these amazing like rainbow menus and submenus, and I want to kind of build my own compendium to sort of like mimic and match like the beautiful setup they have here.
I tell you the way you do it now is that if you have it set up inside your normal on your right hand side, your Foundry thing, there's a right click, export to compendium or export folder to compendium, something like that.
Oh shit! Yeah. So they build it exactly how they want here. So I would take the spells and then it would go just like that with the folders and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you stopped using because they nerfed the rapier? Was that an official decision, or did these guys in general just do that? Deals piercing damage equal to 1d6, 1d8 of your strength dex modifier. One hand, you don't have a weapon or shield in the other. Oh,
wow.
That is a really weird nerf to rapier. I mean, I get it. It's dumb that rapier is better than all the other weapons by default. So I guess I could understand the decision to do that, but honestly, damage dice on weapons is such a chore anyways. I almost feel like any weapon should just deal damage based on your size, its size, and your strength. Yeah. Well, if they're going in and making big rules calls like this to raw weapons, I probably can't use them anymore. So goodbye, revised weapons and equipment. Let's sigh. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and go in.
I mean, the issue here is that they didn't even like.
Yeah, what a weird flex.
Rename it.
Yeah,
Like you would think like, oh, certain you know, like
call it
adjectives.
balanced rapier or something, but don't yeah. All right, you're out of here. Well, now that I know the secret of how they made their compendium look so good, I don't need it anyways. All right. So next up is Selective Show. I still feel like this is kind of tedious, but I do still keep it because I think it's kind of important. I don't know. So basically, when you go to show a picture of something, let's see, locales, Jarrett Sundries. All right. And I want to share the picture. I don't know if I could even use Selective Show with the enhanced journal. Now that I think about it.
I think you can.
I don't know. I'm on pictures, and my only option is to right-click Show Players now. If that's the case, I'll uninstall it, because it wasn't all that great. And the features in this are much better. Jump to pin. What the fuck does that mean?
Oh, it jumps you to the where this thing is pinned.
Oh, on the map.
On a
nice.
Scene, on a scene, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I guess you can't with Monk's thing.
All right, so never mind. So what Selective Show used to do?
It's also a core thing now, Foundry, and something like Monk's thing is also core.
Okay.
Like Monk's journals is also core.
Then
10.
We don't need to worry about Selective Show anymore, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that. But basically, when you went to show a journal entry, it would say, who do you want to show this journal entry to? And you could actually pick who it showed the journal entry to. So if only one person was supposed to see something, again, like I mentioned at the very beginning of this yesterday when I talked about autocomplete whisper, I just message people on Discord. I have Discord open on the side monitor to my left, and I just say, hey, this is a thing that only your character knows. And then I move on with my life. And it keeps a recording, not a recording, but, you know, it keeps it there for later. Okay.
Oh, the show player button is there. I see it.
Where is it? Where is it?
It's right next to the edit description button. It's like a little eyeball.
Oh, there? Show to players. Oh, okay. So it just got integrated by Monk into his setup.
Yeah.
All right. Then I guess I'll keep it. So yeah, just show the picture, change the permissions, and then you can set to show it to all or to show some of the people. But I guess now, if you don't want to have to deal with that every single time, you can just right-click the picture and do show to players, and it just shortcuts right to it. So that actually is a huge quality of life improvement, because I felt that show to players was kind of tedious, because sometimes I just wanted to show them the picture. I didn't want to have to tell it every single time, like, okay, you can, yeah, it is okay to show it to everybody. But yeah, I guess I'll hold on to it a little bit longer. All right. Next up on the managed modules, we've got select tool everywhere. Is this in Foundry 10?
I'm not sure.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so what it does is without this tool, believe it or not, you can't left click and drag a bunch of lights at the same time. I don't know. I don't know why that wouldn't be a normal feature of the fucking program, but unless you have that this mod installed, you are not able to drag select a bunch of things. I don't think you can drag select walls either without this mod. So it's kind of important. Yeah, like, hey, good morning. Let's see. So yeah, select tool everywhere, super important. Everybody should be using it. Sequencer, we mentioned yesterday. Sequencer allows you to look through all of your animations and whatnot and find the perfect one and preview the perfect one. And I believe it shortcuts right to the database too. So let's see.
So yeah, sequencer is the database, and the little button that lets you like just draw the line and it makes the effect go.
Well, that's the sequencer effects viewer, right? But they're all part of the same mod.
It's one, yeah. Sequencer mod is where it's from, yeah.
So if you've got JB2A animations installed, which is the most important one, we're gonna go here and do burning. So I'm gonna preview burning hands blue. Looks great. Burning Hands purple. Yeah, that's the stuff. If I click database, I believe I copy how to get to the database. So if I go into my file viewer and I just punch in that, oops, I should shortcut directly to it. That's weird. All right, let me try it again. Hold on. If I copy the file path, there we go. I should go right to it. Nope. It's only getting worse and worse. Let's see. Huh. Maybe, let's see. Oh, is it because I'm in my thing and not Bazaar? Wow.
What are you looking for?
I'm just trying to shortcut to the pack from Sequencer. So I'm copying the file path down, and then I go over here, and then I'm just trying to kind of shortcut. Oh, there it goes. Okay, that was weird. Until I knew about Sequencer, every time I needed an animation, I would do this. I would click on this folder, and then I would go to the Bazaar, and then I would go and have to find like modules, and then GB2A and library, and I'd have to go there. But now you can just shortcut directly to what you need. It's pretty cool. But you know what's even cooler than that is the Sequencer player, which is right here. The Show Sequencer Effects viewer. You can go in here and you can just look for whatever you need. So if we're looking for, let's say, flames, and we want to add flames to the scene, we go and select orange flames. We can tell it to be below tokens, snap into grid, randomly rotated as we put it out. We can have how many repetitions that it plays. We can, you know, how long it's delayed, all that kind of stuff. Who it's playing for, so you could have special effects only show up for certain characters to really fuck with them. It's really, really, really cool. So, and then you could set drag behavior. So if you want to stretch or move it, you could do that. It's got movement speed. So much stuff that you could do. Then you tell it, after you selected what you want, to switch to the layer. And then wherever this little red dot is, it's going to go ahead and drop fire down onto the map. So you can just start filling the map up with fire to kind of show that things are burning. I don't know. I really like it. If you want the fire to last a really long time, I guess you could put like, I don't know, 50,000 for the delay. And then the fire will just stick around forever. There we go. Oh, and it's like moving too. That's cool.
Yeah. Another cool thing too with Sequencer is that it works with the automatic animations mod. So like if you throw on an aura on a character and it's playing a JV2A effect, and that effect is like stuck to a token and it's following them and keeping on them for a while, there's the Sequencer this window that you have open right now, the part that's like a manager, will have all the effects listed there, so you can turn them on, turn them off as you want it if they're already on top of somebody.
Yeah.
So somebody has an aura on, you want to turn it off, you can it shows up in this window.
So good. So good.
I just checked V10 and you still can't select lights, but you can do it for walls.
Well, that's good. Yeah. All right. So that's Sequencer, super duper good. Do you have an initiative mod that tracks with D&D roles? Yeah, for my normal D&D games, I use something called Combat Carousel. And double click initiative. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, initiative, double click, and I also use Combat Carousel for my other for my normal games. Combat Carousel basically makes a video game interface where you see everybody's picture at the top of the screen, and then it kind of cycles through and it shows who's active and it shows all the people that are coming up next. It looks really, really good. It looks like something straight out of like a D&D video game. It's really, really neat. For almost all my games, we play with active initiative, and I use the Lancer initiative to keep track of the initiative that way. All right. Let's see. Next up on the list is, we're getting there. We're getting close to the bottom. I can feel it. I feel it. Settings extender. All right. I can't tell if this is an actual thing or if this is just a mod that helps mods.
Mod helps other mods.
Okay. Next up, then we have. Oh man, all the S words kind of like blend together. Show art.
Shift Z.
So yeah, show art gives us the much appreciated Shift Z, and then if they've got actual character art, like full character art, you can do Shift X, and then it'll show the full character art. So a better example of this would probably be Orion. So Orion Shift Z will show the token, and then Shift X will show his full art. I have tried to get into the habit of, when there is full art available for a monster that looks cool, have that, and then when I'm showing monsters and stuff, I try to do Shift X now instead of Shift Z, so that they can see the full art every time it pops up. But as a DM that doesn't use web cameras in the games, I feel that this is such a useful tool, because when a person's talking, you can throw up the picture. If you're really not good at character voices, or if you only have like 5 different character voices like me, then this could be very, very useful so that they know which person is actually talking. So I find that to be a very, very useful tool, and that's sort of my default while I'm DMing. It's like, oh, this person's talking, I'll just, it's almost like habit now. If an NPC's talking, I'll have their mini selected, and then I'll hit the button to designate that one is talking. Especially if I have 2 NPCs talking to each other. What DM doesn't like that? I'll throw the pictures back and forth to kind of designate like who's changing the conversation. Combine that with some general narration and say, and then she says, and then she says, and then the reply she says, and then you don't need character voices.
And also, what you could do now that we know about it for fast flip is the whole was it Shift S?
Yeah, that's true. So you could do Alt S, which is just an awkward hotkey, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could do Alt S with fast flip and throw it up. I don't know. Now, one thing I don't like about it is it doesn't throw up broken minis. So I got Eric here. I wanted to throw up Eric's art. Because Eric is not assigned a character sheet, it won't work. Real quick way to fix this, that I'm really dumb about, is you just go in and represent actor. Just choose any fucking actor you want, and now you'll be able to throw up their art. But I mean, now it's a bandit, but you probably want to just stick to Shift Z if you do it that way. But if you have, say, a scene like this where it's coming in from your archive and you didn't like bundle it well, so all these minis are broken now because it's looking for actors that don't exist in your world, and you're like, shit, I don't want to put a bunch of like people back in here. If you did need to throw up Shift Z or whatever, you could just go in here and quickly assign them, a horse named Donkey. And boom. Now, apparently horse named Donkey is dead. That's right. But anyways, you could go ahead and do that. So not a bad way to fix it on the fly, but it is kind of annoying. I'd like it to just show the art of whatever you're selecting, even if it's broken. So
you can even shift Z tiles.
Yeah, that's really neat too. So if we go to the let's see, this is not a tile though. This is a background map, I think. This is the early days of Foundry.
I mean, if you have the 2 floors, I don't think it could be a background.
Yeah, I did it in Photoshop. I sewed them together.
Oh.
Yeah. This is like the first map I ever made, I think, in Foundry. Anyways. But yeah, show image is like really important, and it's another feature that is like a default of Roll20, so I don't know why it's not just a default feature of Foundry. All right, next up is show notes. Trying to remember what the point of show notes is. Let's see. I'm going to look it up. Foundry VTT show notes. All right. Show notes shows journal notes on a map that players have permission to see. Essentially clicks the purple button in the notes tool automatically. Oh shit. Oh, okay. Well, that's nice. Wow. No wonder I haven't had people complaining about not being able to see notes on a map anymore. I wonder when I install that shit. It's probably part of the Benios Maps package that I had to go get. So if you didn't know, when you have kick-ass notes, journal notes all over your map, your players by default can't see it. You have to instruct them to go here and turn on this little purple dot thingy, this note display thingy, so that they can see it. Once they do it, they're fine. But apparently this mod right here, show notes, just toggles that on permanently for everybody all the time. I don't know why you wouldn't want it on ever. Like, I don't understand when you wouldn't want to see information that is important. And I don't know why the default would be to not see important information. You got anything, Dom?
I have no. That's a good question.
Yeah, so I would say that this is a pretty good mod then, because every time I start a campaign, I will always forget to tell people to turn that on, and then like halfway through the campaign, someone will finally say, because they've been afraid to ask, they'll say, "What are you guys even talking about? What are you looking at?" And everyone will be like, "The stuff on the map." And they're like, "There's nothing on the map." And we're like, "Oh, yeah, you got to turn your map notes on." So this just turns your map notes on by default. All right, sidebar context. Let's see if I can remember what sidebar context means off the top of my head, or if I'll just Google it real quick. It adds a few right-click options for things off to the side. That's it. So, yeah. So over here, when you right-click, it'll give you a couple of extra features here. On your actors, it'll give you a couple extra features here. The most important one, of course, is prototype token. Being able to just right-click and go to prototype token, such a huge quality of life improvement. And that's pretty much all I use it for.
Honestly, by default, if you right-click on a scene, the only options you have is configure, delete, duplicate, export.
Yeah.
This thing has a whole bunch.
So this is another huge quality of life improvement. If you love yourself, or if you just don't want your life to be miserable, you should probably go pick this mod up. Sidebar context. Simple calendar. Oof. So it's kind of our only calendar option, and it's not terrible. It definitely does the job. Here, it's better than any calendar available through Roll20. There. But basically, it has like a couple of different views. It's got small view, it's got big view, and I think there's an even bigger view for it. And then you can set calendar dates. I don't want to mouse over any of them because it's a lot of campaign spoilers here. But yeah, it's really cool. And you can set events so that players know about it. You can set events so that only certain players know about it. You can set events that only you know about it. If you use a calendar in your game, and I recommend that everybody uses a calendar in the game because a calendar is incredibly immersive, Simple Calendar is the calendar mod that you want to use. You might notice that I don't use about time. There's just no need for about time anymore, at least as far as I'm concerned. The one problem I have with Simple Calendar is it's very easy for me to break Simple Calendar. Simple Calendar does not like Lancer Initiative very much. And if you are running a combat with Lancer Initiative and you leave that scene while combat is still running, you've pretty much just broken Simple Calendar forever. Yeah. I'm still looking for ways to like repair scenes that have a broken Simple Calendar as a result of Lancer Initiative. I believe if I toggle off both mods and then restart and then toggle on Simple Calendar, it does fix it until I break it again with Lancer Initiative. I hate the fact that they
you gotta remember to end your combat.
Man, I can't even remember to put a belt on to go to work, man. Come on. Like, God damn. I'm pulling my pants up all day because I didn't wear a belt. Like, I can't remember to end a combat. Now I say this, there are mods that will end a combat automatically if you leave the scene. That's a monk feature, actually. One of Monk's mods will actually end a combat if you leave a scene. So maybe I should probably look into that. Yeah, a lot of hand-holding there, but...
hey, man, do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do. My concern with that, and I thought about turning it on, is sometimes I have to leave a scene because I need to grab something from another scene, or I want to look back or look ahead, and I don't want the scene to end.
Does it do it for whatever when you leave an active, like when an active scene is changed, or when the GM leaves the scene? Because if it does it only when you change the active scene, then you might be safe.
Ooh, I should probably double check that. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right. Next up, we've got skill. Well, I mean, I could talk more about Simple Calendar, but you don't have a lot of options for calendars, so you're just going to be using Simple Calendar anyways. But it does allow you to track multiple calendars, and you can impact one calendar with another calendar. So, for example, in my Witchlight Isekai game, where they were going back and forth between two different worlds, I was able to have it impact different worlds. The problem is switching who the active calendar is a lot of work, and then you have to basically redo all the calculations and math for how it's impacting everything else. So like when I go to run Planescape, I'll probably have like the sigil calendar is the main calendar for the campaign, and then popular locations that they go to, I might have a calendar there, and then when they're in those worlds, that might change it, or I might just calculate it manually on some paper, which might be easier, and then just like swap it over. Or I might just Doctor Who it, and time is wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey, and we don't really give a shit. But a lot of amazing features in the calendar mod.
That last option seems the most.
It's the best one, honestly. Yeah. So here's the thing: you watch media, time is always what you need it to be, right?
Yeah.
Like Jack Bauer, he does a lot of stuff in 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like the timer on a bomb that's a very long minute. The timer on a bomb. That's a D&D combat right there of shit happening. So like time should just be dramatic.
Yeah. Like charging up for a spirit bomb, you know?
Yeah. Then we got skill customization for D&D. I love skill customization for D&D. It's good. If you're using any of the advanced DMing rules that they talk about in Tasha's and Xanathar's and the DM's guide and things like that, sometimes players will say, I'm a doctor. Can I have intelligence for my medicine check? And you're like, of course. And so they just go in here and they click wisdom and they change it to intelligence. That's it. They're done. It's just that. That's it. That's what the mod does. It's fucking amazing. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of players bullshitting a reason for something. You know, strength and you got all the classics: strength, intimidate, this and the other thing. But I would say that without this, it's a real hassle because then you're asking people to do math. And any opportunity to prevent people from doing their own math is going to speed up your game. So, let's see. Next up, we've got skill extension for 5e. I think this is the one that lets you make your own skills.
Yep.
All right. And let's see. So skill extensions, basically, it prefers that you have Tidy5e for your stuff. That's cool. And this module has an easy way to add new skills into the D&D system over a simple configuration menu. So I believe we just go to what is it? Let's see. How do we add extra skills?
Just go to the module settings.
Oh, you have to do it through the module setting? Okay.
Yeah. And then there's like a little button that adds it for everybody.
Oh, so if you wanted to go like a bit more like hardcore on the knowledge skills, you could have like engineering and things like that, and really kind of like expand out your stuff. In Witchlight, we could have added the meta skill. Yeah, I could have gone in and added the meta skill for that. We'll definitely do that for Curse of Strahd. We'll add the meta skill in. But yeah, super duper cool. If you don't want to fuck around with tool, the way Foundry handles tool proficiencies, you could technically go in and add skills for all of the tool proficiencies. That's actually kind of tempting, because I know a lot of people don't like the fact that your tool proficiencies are through the tool, and they're not just listed over here in the skills. So you could use skills to do it that way.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it would work. I think you'd want to give it, since the core skills end at survival, you do everything as tool and then what the tool is, so that they all get stacked at the bottom.
Yeah.
But that could be pretty cool, actually. And then you could set the default skill for it to be whatever is the normal default skill for that tool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Next up is smart doors. So what smart doors does is it changes the icons on doors so that at a glance you can tell what a door is and what a door is about. So, for example, if I go to this door and I say that this door is un secret door and I hit update, now it's a different door. So I can tell at a glance, this is a secret door, this is not a secret door. I don't. Is that default now or no?
No.
Oh my god.
I think this mod also adds a shortcut button to turn doors into secret doors.
Yes, I believe it is either Control or Shift. Hold on, or Alt. There we go. So you hold down Alt and you click a door. You can change it from a secret door to a regular door. So, for example, if your players discovered the secret door, instead of opening it for them, you can put the pressure on them and just be like, "There's the door." And now they still have this like, "Oh shit! Okay, well we found the door." Do we open it? But I know as a DM, if I say that there's a secret door, I'll just open the door for them. But with this mod, you don't actually have to do that. I believe this mod also lets you silently open doors, or is that a feature of ambient doors?
I mean, normally doors don't make any noise, so...
It must be a feature of ambient. Like, there's a hotkey that you can hold so that when you open a door, it doesn't make any noise. Yeah. Oh, and locking a door. Yeah. That's what I have it set for. So if I lock a door, it doesn't make any sound. But anyways, all this does is help you with secret doors. But honestly, it's such a huge thing because otherwise you're a DM, you don't remember, is this a secret door or is this not a secret door? And if you're describing the room to people and you got a million things going on in your head and you're planning for stuff and you're like, oh yeah, sorry, in the left-hand corner of the room there's a door. And then the people are like, it doesn't look like there's a door. And then you're like, God damn it. And you just told them about the secret door. So that's why I have this mod. And that's all it does. Let's see. Next up is SocketLib is a mod that helps other mods. And then we got Splatter. Aw, yeah. Splatter. Bleed everywhere, little mouse. Everywhere. Bleed right into the cook pot. There you go. So, Splatter is, it makes blood. It's awesome. I don't know what else to say. The only thing it's missing is a paintbrush tool. I am sad that it doesn't have a paintbrush tool. You could technically make yourself an actor that is a blood paintbrush, I guess. That's a little gruesome, but you could do it. And then just drag them all over the place and just have them bleed everywhere if you needed to like paint blood. But it would have been nice to just have a blood tool over here.
Back in the day when we had blood and guts, there was a.
I know that's what I'm thinking about. So what's happening here is if you go into the token, there under appearance is a new section for blood, and ideally the mod makes blood based on what creature type you are. Unfortunately, a recent update stripped all of the blood settings out of creatures that were already in a scene on your world. So that was very unfortunate. So now I have to drag out fresh monsters if I want blood, or I have to manually turn blood on. I'm sure I could probably get a macro made that sets like the blood color for a token. But unfortunately, if it isn't set here, a lot of times it won't make the blood, which is very sad. But you can make the blood like any color, which is kind of cool. So you know, if they're fighting like a plant monster, got green blood and stuff like that. If you're fighting an undead, of course, weird white blood. And then in the settings for Splatter, you can increase how much blood there is when a miniature starts bleeding. And if a miniature is bleeding, as it moves around the map, it'll leave a little blood trail behind it. Again, it's all about immersion, right? So like, this is a very easy thing to install and forget about, and when it works, it's very, very cool and very fun. It also rewards people for paying attention. If players figure out that when a creature gets to half health, it starts bleeding, you don't have to tell them when a monster gets bloodied. They could actually look and see that there's now blood coming out of the monster as it like moves around and stuff. Or a huge explosion of blood when it went past the 50% mark appears. So it's a nice way to kind of be engaging and immersive. I guess check with your players to make sure that they don't have any like triggers against, blood. But I think it's really cool. And then when everybody can also scrub blood away as much as they want. All right, next up is Split Journal. Split Journal is I don't know. Is Split Journal being overwritten by Monk's Journal?
No. Split Journal, what it does, it allows you to right-click on a journal and split it into its header, so that if you want to turn them into specific map notes, you can do that.
Oh, gotcha. All right, so Split Journal is the one that makes baby journals out of a big journal.
Yeah.
Okay. Useful if you've used the import tool for an adventure from D&D Beyond, because sometimes it'll come in as a huge chonkin document, and you might want to like split it into the smaller sections. So that's the immediate thing I could think of that it would be useful for. All right. Next up, I wish I didn't keep closing this down every time. Okay. Let's see. We're making our way through here. Status icon counters. So this is what allows you to have stacks of cub effects, essentially, or right-click effects. So if you get a certain number of blue tokens on your mini, you just die instantly or something. This would allow us to kind of keep track of that. So once you start stacking, left-clicking adds more, and right-clicking removes them. This could be very confusing for some people, but that is what it does. You keep left-clicking, you add more. You right-click, it'll go away. You can also, while you're mousing over it, hit a number on the keypad. And
your new bleed stuff.
Oh yeah, bleed stuff stacks too. Yeah. Let's see. So then we've got Stream View. I have not tried Stream View out yet, and so I can't really talk about Stream View other than to say, when you have Stream View enabled and you're running Stream View, it's hands off at that point. So the cameraman will automatically follow the action. Whoever is the active player in a combat, it will zoom in on that player. And then if that player starts targeting something far away, it'll zoom out and recenter. It follows all the PCs on a map. So if the PCs are clumped together, the camera will zoom in. If the PCs are far away, it'll zoom out. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty awesome. Things I don't know about it is if I shift Z to player view, does the screen eventually just get clogged with pictures? Or is there a way for player view to not see shared pictures so that the screen doesn't get clogged up? Because that's
when you shift Z and it shows up. When you close it, I think it closes.
For player view.
Yeah, for the stream
for the stream view mod. Okay.
Yeah,
that's one of the things I wanted to dig into this weekend, but there just hasn't really been enough time with like not wanting to have a complete burnout and mental collapse. But I do want to try and get this set up. I have another computer in mind that I was gonna like try to run a player stream while on a different computer while I was DMing, which would then eliminate the need for a player streamer. Yeah. I would still allow players to stream the games if they wanted to. That's totally on them. Yeah. Oh, Axiom D&D says Shift Z will time out after a time you set in the stream view. Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, nice.
All right, sweet. I would love to be able to just stream when I'm running a game. I would love to be able to stream in player view on my channel instead of just hosting. I have been told by many people that a big part of the slow growth of my Twitch channel is just hosting other people. If I was just running everything on this this brand, this channel the entire time, it would just be infinitely higher. You just don't get very much exposure when you're hosting versus when you're actually streaming. So it has a number of benefits for everybody involved. And there's no pressure on players then if they miss a week and they're not able to stream. It doesn't matter. But that also allows people to say, hey, I like the player stream view that Crash uses, but Red just does a better job. Like, it's, you know, I can see what's going on. Red has a better sense for, like, where to put the camera. You know, there's, like, skill involved, right? They go in and they see it. Or they might say, like, oh, well, this player streamer, they just have a really cool overlay and a really cool, like, interface. I just prefer, like, watching it on theirs more. Or they have, like, a more interesting chat. Nobody's in Crash's chat because Crash is running the game, so he's not actually talking to anybody, and he doesn't hire any mods, so there's nobody to talk to or anything. So, but at least the option is there that it'll be streaming a player view every game, and then take that pressure off of the players. And if there's players that are like, "Whew, I didn't actually want to stream this anyways. I was just doing this because everybody else wanted someone to stream," now they don't have to worry about it anymore. So that is the goal: is to eventually get that set up. Talus Dice is just another thing for Dice So Nice. Compendium library for Forge. More awesomeness from the Forge. So these are just extra features that the Forge interface has going for it. I guess we could talk about those extra features. I don't know. I can't remember them off the top of my... Yeah.
So it's like, if I remember correctly, it's like that mod just turns on a bunch of what you call it, dependencies. And
right.
I think we talked about each of those.
Oh, yeah. This is the one that turns on split journal, better markers or some shit. It does like a lot of little things. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So then we skip down. Tidy5e Sheet. I'm telling you right now that once you use Tidy Sheet, you will not be able to not use Tidy Sheet. Tidy Sheet is good. I remember like installing it and looking at it and immediately being like, well, that's that. Like, I don't know. I have players that still miss the Roll20 character sheets, which is a whole thing. But it was understandable coming from Roll20 to Foundry that they didn't like the default Foundry character sheet. I felt like the default Foundry character sheet is a bit I don't think it's well laid out. Tidy Sheet is just perfection. Plus is, you got your favorites and they'll all appear on the front page. Everything's just like nice and crisp and like laid out. You can have a dark mode as like an easy to toggle on feature. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to beat. Like, yeah, I can't. I don't know. It's another one of those things that if I played in somebody else's game and they weren't using Tidy Sheet, I would be like, okay, I'll try my best. Yeah. But I wouldn't quit over it. But I would be kind of sad because I probably would just use the hotbar, honestly, at the bottom of the screen. I'd want I'd want every excuse not to fuck around with the regular Foundry character sheet. All right. Let's see. Next up is Token Action HUD. So this is where in the top you see this like menu doodad appear. That is what that's doing. Basically, it gives you yet another way to access your character sheet without opening your character sheet. So you got a custom hotbar down here. You got the ability to go into your character sheet. You got the ability to pop your character sheet out into another window, and so it's not taking up room on the screen. But also, especially if you got a relatively simple character, you can just have your character selected and go here and use the stuff. You want to use your sword, you use your sword. You want to use a skill, you go over here and get a skill. In Roll20 as a player, that's one of the first things I would do when I would join a game in Roll20 as a player, is I would go and make a macro to query what saving throw I was going to make. So I'd click a single button, and then it would say, hey, what saving throw are you going to make? And then I'd pick it from the drop down, and it would make it. So I'd have one less reason to go to my character sheet. RP says, I watched, I think, all your Roll20 videos, and then you moved here. I only just started playing at the start of the year and put in a few £100, so I don't want to move now. My life's a lie. It's not a lie. Roll20 is a completely viable platform. You should not feel bad about running a game in Roll20. Roll20 is easy. Much easier. I can't express how much easier Roll20 is to use than Foundry. Foundry is a constant learning experience. It is a constant learning curve. It's a big learning curve at the beginning. Any of these people out there that tell you that Foundry is easy to use, those are the big dick programming nerds of the world, okay? They're wired differently than the rest of human beings, okay? They think that, like, taking apart their own microwave and, like, putting it back together is easy. Like, you don't want these people judging you, okay? Don't listen to them. I'm telling you right now that Foundry is much more complicated than Roll20. It is a huge investment of time to learn it well. And there's not a lot of support for learning it, because the people that love Foundry are those big brain super nerds that don't understand why the rest of the world is so fucking dumb. And so, like, you just kind of have to understand that, like, Foundry is a whole step up. These are the people that jailbreak their phones so that they can, like, launch, like, satellites into space with their Android phone. This is their world. This is their kind of program. Roll20 is the iPhone. I want to play Dungeons & Dragons online. Roll20 is like, we can do that. And you're like, cool. And you show up and you start playing. Yeah, you just start playing Roll20. And your friends are like, I don't know. I have a computer, I think. I just go to the, what's it called? I go to the website and I log in and I can play D&D online. And you're like, that's right. And that's all they have to do. Foundry, I feel guilty sometimes when I start a new game that we don't spend an entire night just talking about all the shit I have set up in Foundry, so that during the course of the campaign, they know that they have all these cool tools and stuff like that. Dom and I have been going over mods for 4 or 5 hours now. We've been going over mods for 5 fucking hours, and we're not even done yet. It is totally okay to stay on Roll20. There are times, many times, that I secretly wish I had just stayed on Roll20, because my life would be so much fucking easier. Like, it would be. Like, I just say, listen, we play with Duplos, and so I made you this really nice castle out of Duplos, and Duplos, by the way, are Legos for babies. And I say, this is what we got. And everyone says, that's fun. I'm just here to play D&D. And it's like, cool, I'm here to play D&D too. You get onto Foundry, and people are like, Crash, what? You didn't make a giant kaiju sea serpent swimming through the depths of the ocean with special lighting effects and special bubble particle effects, and you don't have it set up so that I could teleport inside the monster and outside of the monster. You don't have all... Yeah, like, the expectations just continue to go up and up and up and up and up as you have more and more and more stupid shit. You end up with, like, a Hollywood movie situation, right? I can't just make a normal-ass movie anymore. Every movie got to be bigger, better than the last movie. Everything's got to be crazier, bigger stunts, bigger special effects. It's exhausting, honestly. So for everybody out there that's still on Roll20, don't you feel bad about it.
And if you do want to try out Foundry, you could use it with no mods and play your D&D and have fun.
That's true. I would love to go through as a community and figure out, like, what is, like, the bare minimum mods to, like,
honestly play. Why don't for Extra Life we do one shot with no mods?
No mods Foundry? Oh my god. That
I'll run. I'm gonna run that. I'm gonna put that into Extra Life. You can join. It'll be DM Dom, but it'll be no mods.
No mods. Raw Foundry. Raw. Mm-hmm. Oh, raw. Wait. Why stop there? Raw Foundry, raw 5e. Oh shit. Only SRD allowed.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That would be kind of awesome, actually.
Let's return back to when life was simpler.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's got to be the simplest ass adventure too. Just
a normal, basic, vanilla 5-room dungeon.
Perfect.
Perfect. There's a evil undead inside this crypt.
Oh, run the what's it called? Denarian Tomb or whatever from Matt Colville. It's like it's a 3-room dungeon basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The goblins with the
Dalian Tomb? I think it's called the Dalian Tomb.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be fucking amazing. Showcase. This is Foundry naked. Naked Foundry. All right. Let's keep.
Somebody in chat. Foundry's the new Skyrim. Yeah.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Just like with Skyrim, if you ever find yourself installing a mod that has special bird songs for each of the different species of birds, you've gone too far. You have gone too far. You need to stop. You need to, as the halflings would say, you need to go touch grass and maybe smoke grass. You need to get the fuck away from those mods. That's too many mods. There is a point where you can take it too far. And when you start installing localized bird songs to your Foundry maps, that is when you've gone too far. I'm sorry. All right. Also, your world building might be, you might want to rethink why you're focusing so much on bird songs in your world building. All right, we got token auras. This is not the same as active aura effects. This is the basic bitch Roll20 interface for auras that I love. If your map does not look like a Venn diagram PowerPoint presentation by the end, you obviously are not running high-level games. And I applaud you, because I hate running high-level games. But when you get to high levels, or you're playing 4th edition D&D, every motherfucker has an aura. And so they all start overlapping, and they're going everywhere. I guess if you play any level of A5e, which is secretly just like Pathfinder 2 and 4th edition, you're going to get these things. So you just set a size, and then a color, and now everything within this ginormous blood orange is affected by Jojo Jayo, the mousekin. And you can have 2 different auras at once, which is pretty cool. This also stacks with, but is not in any way supportive of, the active auras thing that we talked about yesterday. So if your paladin has an aura and people always want to see where they need to stand to be in that aura, you could set this up for an aura, and then you could also set up an active aura, or you could set up the active aura to trigger a special effect. So whenever they're near the paladin, they're glowing or something like that. This is so much less system intense, though. So I generally prefer running my auras through this instead of active, because it takes me like a couple of seconds to turn on an aura here, whereas with active auras I actually have to go in and like make sure there's an effect and then toggle the effect on and all that kind of stuff. Again,
honestly, I only use active for like permanent stuff, like a PC's aura protection. But
right,
if it's like a monster's, like, oh, this monster has an effect, or
now, if it's a showpiece boss, you might want to go in and you might want to put in the extra effort, right? You might want to go in there and say, like, as soon as you move within a certain distance of this monster, you burst into flames and like crazy cool stuff like that. You could definitely go and do active auras, but token auras, it's all you need. It's all you need. I wish it was a standard feature, because it's so big. Again, if Roll20 has it as a basic feature, Foundry should have it as a basic feature. Token HUD Wildcard.
One thing I will mention about the auras too is that if you, and I want to try and use this more often, but if you had a donut aura, you can use the 2 auras at the same time to kind of
to show that, like, the interior is different than the exterior. Oh, very cool. Oh, and if you've got super math nerds and they're like, well, we don't use Euclidean, so technically our auras should all be square. I mean, that's true. If you're not using Euclidean movement, then all of your auras should technically be square. You could always remember to check this little square box. That's that's 4th edition all the way. 4th edition auras, I believe, are all square. Because look at the measurement tool. If I measure out to this corner, it says it's 30 feet. And if I measure here, it's 30 feet. Your human mind has to know that this is not the same distance. Your eyeballs should be able to tell you that this is not, that 30 feet and this 30 feet are not the same by any stretch of the imagination. Which is why for like 2 years we switched to using Pathfinder and 3rd edition Euclidean movement, because it just didn't make any fucking sense. If you're using a circular aura, you are basically supporting Euclidean movement. And by that, I mean the first space is 5 diagonally, the second diagonal space is 2, the third one is 5, and so on and so forth. Honestly, I prefer it like that, like in all aspects. But look, see, like that's going to be, 25 feet. But you should actually be able to affect people 30 feet away. So just calling everybody out on that. If you are using normal D&D movement, you're supposed to be using square auras, everybody. I know they're uggo, but you have to do it. You have to do it.
Does that mean a fireball is actually square?
And this is the danger of this shit. Yes, it does mean that. And that's why in 4th edition, a fireball was square. And everybody flipped out and everybody was upset about it. But like, that's just fucking how it is. Like, that's how it is. Like, if you're measuring diagonals without any penalty, then yeah, you have to use square auras. Like, that's how it works. And so technically for Fireball, we should have a square template. It's horrible. It's horrible.
You know when we had the Crash Roll Patch talk, and I said,
yeah,
maybe we should go back to
yeah, it's so yeah. That's why these are the arguments that we made, and I think it was made because of how template creation worked in Foundry, because they have such a powerful template tool. Yeah. But we were like, but how do we make it square? A square ball, preposterous. Yeah. So I guess we're switching back to Euclidean movement again. Oh well.
The funny thing is that because even in Foundry, like if I do 30 feet out straight, it shows for a radius. It shows that if I do 30 feet out to the side, it's not using it's not making the circle bigger. Yeah.
Yep. So anyways, sorry to blow everybody's minds, but if you're playing with normal 5e movement, you are by default using square templates, and you have to live with that truth now. All right. Next up, we've got Token HUD Wildcard. This should be unstandard feature, but maybe not because it is kind of fancy. But maybe it should because it's a default feature of Roll20. Anyways, what it does is it allows you to have multiple tokens for.
So to clarify, default Foundry does have the wildcard thing, but what this does, it adds a little right click and you can switch
this guy
by just the little thing there. But
yeah.
And you see all the other options there, but while having the wildcard options is a default thing, just so you can't. The HUD element is what this mod adds.
And if you were curious where that is, it's under Appearance. When you do your image path, you have to go down here and get rid of the last bit, and you put a little asterisk, and then it doesn't show it unless you're on the prototype token. Hold on. Here, we'll just do it with Umegs. So we'll go to Prototype, Appearance. So you go here. He's in the dwarf folder. So then I go down to the end here, and I get rid of that last bit. Now it's going to show me everything that's in that dwarf folder as an option. If I click this next line and do randomize wildcard images, whenever I pull one out, it will randomly determine using the folder of options which one to get. And then you can even set a default one. So every time it pops out, it's always going to be that particular one. So I could go back in here and grab this guy and make that the default image. And then I hit update. And now when I drag it onto the scene, he'll come out as himself. But thanks to this mod, I will have this little right-click interface, and I can pick any of these other dwarves instead. So, pretty cool. All right. Let's see. Next up is token magic effects. Wow. All right, so token magic effects does so much stuff. It's been around since the very beginning. We didn't think you could ever get cooler than that, and then JB2 Animation showed up on the scene. It by no means did it replace token magic effects, but it definitely made things even cooler. So token magic effects is you can go in to your, in my case, cub, and you could teach it that when I say something's cold, it's real cold. That shit's iced over. It's very, very cool. And then you don't have to use this to do it. It could be triggered by macros. So we could just say, dude's on fire, dude's dead, dude's glowing. Look at that forehead. Holy shit. The dude is dodging. So it allows you to animate effects and animate movement on tokens, and it allows us to do all sorts of wild shit, like polymorph someone into a chicken, and then back to normal. It's incredibly cool, and it's by default, I think it has 100. I want to say it has 100 different things it could do that are preloaded. And nowadays, they even give you previews of what they do, which they didn't used to do. So if you go into the compendium for it, let's see. Token Magic Portfolio. They kind of give you a better sense with these little pictures of what it does. So, bulging, dancing, blurring, taking away their shadow. All these things are very subtle. Some of them are not. Some of them are completely over the top. But it does give you a little preview of all the things that it can do. And then you can actually go in, if you know any amount of coding, you can go in and combine them together. You can change the colors on stuff. You could change the duration of things, the speed of things. There's all sorts of stuff you could do. For example, we took the dodge animation and we changed the parameters on it so that when you are flying, you are kind of drifting about. So if we turn on flying for this guy, he kind of floats around a little bit. See? So it's like similar to the dodge, but it has more of like a drifting in the air kind of look to it. So yeah, you can do all sorts of cool stuff with this. It is such a good mod, and it adds just a nice little bit of like immersion there. When there's nothing more satisfying than if you're fighting a big ass monster and you set that big ass monster on fire, and the DM sets that big ass monster on fire. Like that's a good feeling. So, for example, let's grab this big old lake troll. He had a bad life, this lake troll. He had a hard time. But like, look at this. Dude's on fire. Dude's got hex on him. Dude is raging. He's got all these status effects on him. And when you're fighting this and it suddenly bursts into flames, it feels like really good. It's like really satisfying to see that thing like burst into flames. So just another cool kind of immersion tool. Oh, and he was bleeding too. So there's the spatter effect of his neon green blood all over the floor. Token magic, I feel like everybody should give it a shot. Is it an optional thing? For sure. I wouldn't put token effects as a must-have mod, but it's definitely one of my favorite mods. It's up there with Splatter, right? Like, it's just a way to enhance the game and make it a little bit more fun without being too system intensive. Where it does become system intensive is that you can affect tiles with it. So if you have a map, for example, that is made with tiles and not with a background image, you could set the entire place on fire. So if I went to the background image here and I have it selected, I could then set the entire place on fire. And that's kind of cool. The best thing you could do with it is making things underwater. Let's see. I believe it's called submerged. Let's see, water. There we go. So if I drag water down here, I need an underwater map. How do I get it? Well, I'll just take this cool desert town and I'll select it, and then I'll go and I'll just say it's underwater. The end. That's all you had to do. So it's pretty fucking cool if you ask me. The day I figured out that I could just make any map an underwater map automatically by clicking a single button, I was pretty fucking happy. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty fucking happy. And honestly, if you went through, you could probably find a lot of ways to like turn a map into a different map with a single button click, a single macro, using that stuff. So it's the good stuff in my opinion. It's the real good stuff. But definitely not a mandatory thing, but still a really cool thing. All right, next up we've got token mold.
Yeah, so good. It's been good since day one.
Token mold is the dumbest mod that is also the best mod. It's just the best. So whenever you drag out a non-unique actor, so an actor that has not been set, not been linked to its sheet, that is to say, this represents any number of things. Oh, thank you, Orange TJ. So it gives them a little name. So if we scroll down here, we can see that this is a discriminatory dragon, and this is a broad goblin, and this is a courageous goblin, and this is a lifeless goblin, and this is a pleased goblin. So it's very useful because if I have a bunch of goblins on the scene, it's so much more fun than, one, not having any idea which goblin is which. That's the default, not knowing which goblin is which. Or having numbers put on it, which is some mods put numbers on them. This goes a step further. This puts ridiculously stupid adjectives on them. And numbers. So this was obviously the first goblin, but just being Goblin Skirmisher number 1, that's not enough. I want lifeless Goblin Skirmisher. So here's the thing. I like to use a morale system. It is very much, my decision if a monster runs away or not. I don't play hard and fast morale rules, but I will say, like, oof, this guy's things are going real bad for these monsters. I'm going to check this guy's morale. And almost always I base it on charisma, which represents, like, inner strength and determination, things like that. Confidence, that kind of stuff. Sometimes I'll do wisdom if they just look around at the battlefield and they're like, fuck all this noise. If they get a good wisdom save, they'll be like, I'm going to die here, so I'm going to leave. But I'll check morale. If I went to check for Courageous Goblin, I'd be like, never mind. That guy's courageous. Of course he's going to stick around. If I went to check the morale and it said, like, Cowardly, I would be like, yep, get the fuck out of here. Yes. So it's so good. This is Snippy Goblin. Here's the thing: you're a dungeon master. You got to roleplay all these fucking NPCs all the time. So like they go up to like the barmaid and they want to talk to the barmaid, and the barmaid is Snippy Goblin. You know right away they're Snippy. Now you know how to roleplay this NPC. It was that easy. Like, I cannot express to you how important this is. Now, maybe they befriend Snippy Goblin, the bartender, and they want to know Snippy Goblin's name. Oh, shit. Well, don't worry. Random name generator, randomfantasynameggenerator.com, that's got you covered for literally any random name you ever need for anything. So you're like, yeah, his name's Gob, the Snippy Gob. So Gobbert, that's his name. Gob is short for Gobbert. I just got to go in and update that, and now we know that he is Gobbert, the Snippy Goblin. Dunzos. What if I need to keep Gobbert because for whatever fucking reason I'm running Skull and Shackles and they recruit every fucking NPC they meet? Well, now I would probably go over here and I would clone a goblin, and then I would make Gobbert have his own like special goblin character sheet at that point. But I might keep Snippy Goblin on there so I remember that Gobbert is in fact quite snippy. So I have nice role-playing cues the next time I go to play him. Which there's another tool we're going to discuss in a second that helps you with that as well.
And honestly, one of the best things about this name is just that sometimes the adjective is just perfect.
So perfect. And it's like watching your friend get a hole-in-one in mini golf. Like when you're like, oh man, this goblin's really fucked, and you mouse over it, it's like a really fucked goblin, and you're like, yeah, I guess so. Holy shit.
Superhuman hoplite.
Yeah, exactly. We had a superhuman hoplite in Mythic, and it lived up to the name. Oh my god, it was better than like most of the bosses we faced in the whole campaign. It was just a regular ass dude, but like he lived up to the name. He was fucking superhuman. It's just a nice, fun thing to add to your game, and it's also an ease of use thing as well. It lets everybody have a better sense of who is what. Yes, you could just have numbers, but that's dumb. So I think it's a really cool and fun mod. Again, probably not requirement, but I wouldn't want to play without it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play without it.
All right.
Oh man, you know what? Okay. In that raw.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be real hard.
Maybe I'll keep.
No, you can't. You got to go all raw, all the way. Only SRD. Everything's SRD.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll have token mode when I prep, and then I'll turn it off before we.
And remember that feats are an optional thing, so like that. We can't have that in our raw game. No feats in our raw game. So, yeah, Woof is right. It'll be good. It'll be a good, reminder of why we don't play raw. Or maybe it'll make people want to play raw. I don't know. We'll see. I feel at that point you might as well just play. Might as well play like Hero Quest or something. Like that's just. Anyways, all right. So next up is Torch. I don't really need Torch at all. I should probably get rid of Torch. This mod right here that allows you to go in and like change everything about your vision and everything about your lighting makes the Torch one completely pointless. But basically, it just adds a cute little torch here. When you right-click on a mini and you click it, and now you have a torch. And then if you click it again, you don't have a torch anymore. That's all it does. It is smart. You can tell it to like consume torches. So I probably just stole a torch out of like Layla's inventory. Or maybe not. They have produce flame as a cantrip. It might go that way. But basically, it looks for any light generating cantrips. And if they have a light generating cantrip, it doesn't take away a torch. If they don't have a light generating cantrip, it does take away a torch. And then that's it. That's how it works. With monsters, I believe you don't have to have torches in their inventory, so that can be pretty useful as well. How much more immersive is it if the goblins, despite having their dark vision, they don't want to have disadvantage at night when they're looking for things, so they're all carrying around their torches? Well, there you go. I don't have to go into their settings and manage that. I can just turn that on. Maybe you dragged in a flaming monster, and you don't want to have to go in and manually turn on the flaming effect. You could just toggle this button on. So, like, I don't need this Torch app, but I think it's like, or the Torch mod, but I think it's pretty cool, so I keep it. So, but
Torch helps with light. The other one helps with vision.
Yep.
There you go. Have both options.
And then let's see. Next up is VoiceActor by Blitz. Okay, so VoiceActor by Blitz is incredibly useful mod. And I need to start using it more often. Basically, let's say that they decide to talk to Gobbert, the snippy goblin, and I get a feeling like, oh shit, I'm going to be dealing with this Gobbert guy for a long time. I could go to the top left of Gobbert's sheet here, and I could record a message. Now, I'm worried that if I record this on a shared mini, it's going to be for like all of that instance. So I think I want to do it on like one that actually has a let's see. All right, we'll take the skirmisher and we'll duplicate it and we'll call it Gobbert. All right, going into his prototypes, and we'll link it and we'll put Gobbert, and then we'll put parentheses Snippy. There we go. Update. All right, so now Gobbert has evolved. He is a full-fledged NPC now. So when I open it up, I can go here and start recording, and it could be, Gobbert, that's no time for your bullshit. Knock it off. Get away from me. You're going to order or you're going to get out. And then I like stop, right? And then like years later, when they're like, oh man, remember at the very beginning of the campaign, the snippy goblin bartender? Let's take our airship back to the first town and visit him. I can't wait. And as the DM, you're like, I fucking hate you guys. And so they go to see Gobbert, and you're like, I don't remember who this guy is. Maybe you were smart, and you recorded his voice. And so you could play it to yourself. Gobbert, that's no time for your bullshit. Knock it off. Get away from me. You're going to order or you're going to get out. And then you're like, oh, okay, it's my angry old man voice, of which I only have one. So there you go. And then you use it, and you're done. So yeah, it's been like it saved my butt in there's a meeting that takes place in Red Hand of Doom where all like the townspeople get together for a meeting. Oh yes, only the DM can hear by default. Good question, Azuri. Now you could play it for everybody by hitting shift click if you wanted to. but the default is only the DM can hear it. So this was super useful when there was like a town meeting and I had to remember what all these fucking NPCs sounded like, and I had to like switch back and forth between the NPCs that were talking. It was a very useful way. I could just like play the clip real quick and then like remember like, oh, that's what this NPC sounds like. You do not have to listen to this. You don't have to use this just for their character voices. Maybe you're a DM that doesn't do character voices. You could just record a message here. So we're going to do shift-click to overwrite. All right, so Gobbert is a snippy goblin bartender. They met way back at the beginning of the campaign. They really like this guy. He is literally snippy, so he's going to be really curt and really rude whenever they ask him questions. He's going to just try to get them to order beer. He doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to engage. He just wants to sell beers. That's what this guy is about. Also, he's secretly the BBEG for the entire campaign. All right, so then I stop recording. And then they come back to the sound, and I'm like, huh, okay, let's see, who the fuck is this guy? And then I hit the play button. Hold on. Maybe. There we go. All right, so Gobbert is a snippy goblin bartender. They met way back at the beginning of the campaign. They really like this guy. He is literally snippy, so he's going to be really curt and really rude whenever they ask him questions. He's going to just try to get them to order beer. He doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to engage. He just wants to sell beers. That's what this guy is about. Also, he's secretly the BBEG for the entire campaign. Right, so if your style of DMing doesn't involve doing character voices, now you have these notes that you've stored, these audio notes about that particular NPC, and you're like, oh, okay. And so, you ask Gobbert about the local dungeon, and he's just really rude and really curt with you, and he says, you're going to need to order some beers, or you're going to need to get out, in a squeaky old man voice. And then you don't have to do a character voice. That's called narrative DMing, and it's a very good style, and no one should be embarrassed about narrative DMing. You do not have to do character voices. Honestly, you don't have to do character voices. Aw, thank you! So basically, this is an incredible tool, especially for a long-term campaign, or if you are a DM that likes to run a lot of one-shots and you run the same one-shots over and over again. Coming back to this one-shot, it'd be nice to just be able to click on some of these things and get like a little like, hey, this is what this character's about. Yes. Can you also do text-based notes? There is a mod that I no longer use called GM Notes, and GM Notes would actually add onto everything in the world a little thing at the top here that says GM Notes, and only the GM would have access to those notes. I don't use it because
alternatively, every character sheet, whether it's NPC or PC,
has a biography and a journal.
Has a biography and a journal tab.
Yeah.
The journal tab is actually, I think, comes from Tidy5e Sheet.
Yeah, that's
true. The biography is there, so you can always take your notes there. That's what I'm starting to do. I started taking my notes there. Now.
The reason I got rid of GM Notes, one, I have ADHD, so if something is out of sight, it's out of mind. So if it's hidden from me, I don't know that I actually did it. And then two, Dom and I had so many mods at one point that you couldn't use your fucking character sheet anymore. Just the whole top of every sheet was just like special buttons and links, and it was actually ruining the interface when you tried to do stuff on the sheet. So in an effort to kind of dumb that down, I got rid of GM Notes. And then, yeah, as Dom pointed out, if you're using Tidy Sheet, you have this whole journal entry section, so you can just go in and, you could say, oh man, it's so much worse to type than to just say it out loud. Gobbert is secretly the BBEG, him snippy and rude, likes sell beer, the end. Or you could do it in a bulleted list, so you could say role-playing cues, and then go and grab a bulleted list for you, and you could say rude, impatient, like selling beer, secretly the BBEG, and then you save it out. All right. Now you got to remember that you are using the journal tool for your notes, and then you got to make sure that if it has some incriminating shit like this, you don't make it available to the players when they have access to it. So I believe... Oh, thank you, Grammarly. You're always trying to help out. You're always trying to help out. Bobbert. That's an even better name, honestly. All right.
Oh, man, yeah.
So I could go in here to secret and set it, or to him being secretly the DM, and I could set it to secret. That means only DMs will ever see it. So even if I gave them control of Gobbert, if I was like, Gobbert's your companion, I could have secret notes about Gobbert. I could go into Layla's character sheet right now, and I could go over to Layla's journal tab, and up here at the top, I could say, Layla is destined to become the Queen of Blood and end the world. All right, and then I could go here and select a secret, and now even Layla doesn't know it.
Wait, are you sure? Because I think if you own it, you can see it.
Wait, what? Really? No, it's secret. It's for the DM only, right?
No, I think secret just means it doesn't show up for people who don't, like, if you were to...
Oh, are you serious? I should probably remove that then. I thought secret was always only for the DM.
No, secret is just doesn't show up for people for people who don't own. So like if I have an attack,
boo,
and I said there's a secret portion in the attack, and you roll the attack, it doesn't show up when it rolls. But you can still go, if someone owns the thing, they can still go and look at it.
So that's the one thing that GM Notes did have going for it, is you could have GM Notes secretly stored on the character.
GM was only for GM.
But what you could do is you could use a mod that we've talked about earlier, the GM screen, and you could have a document here that's like, you could have one tab each for each of your players, and then you could track secret shit and backs. Oh god, that's actually a really fucking good idea for using the DM. Oh my god,
the thing you wanted to use your
that's a good idea for the GM screen. Holy shit, I could go in here and I could have it set up with all of the player characters so that whenever I need to look up this stuff, I could just look it up. Oh shit,
backstory.
Yeah, exactly. Because like some players, they like work hard on the backstory. They really want you to integrate it, and they're like, "Oh, this is just like in my backstory, right?" And as the DM, I'm like, "Who are you? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't we take a break?
Yeah. And then I go to my Google Drive, and I'm like frantically looking for it. I'm like, "Where are the notes about their backstory?" I'm like searching the chat. Where's the backstory? So yeah, this actually worked pretty good. Pretty good. Nice. Okay. That's a good idea for that. All right, let's move on. Let's see. Viewport. Let the light in. I believe this is a mod that enhances walls, windows, and light, but I am going to look it up real quick. This is another one that Benios Maps told me I had to have. But I wanted to do this. I wanted to know what all my mods did. So this is why we spent 6 hours looking at mods. Package description, viewport. This module is intended to be a dependency for other mods. So it's a mod that helps mods, and basically it helps mods make lights look good. It enhances lights and lighting effects. Cool. Next up is wall height, which for some reason is not a standard feature of Foundry, which is weird. So wall height is really cool because it also secretly has actor height. Wait, is it?
10?
Is it?
In 10, it's not fully integrated, but in 10, they added a foreground height and a background height. So
that's dope.
And
okay.
an underground. So if you go negative,
so you could have you can travel between maps.
Well, no, it's not traveling between maps. Like if you have a scene and you have somebody who's burrowing and you put them as negative, they'll go under the under the background.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And
okay.
Then if you can set for the scene, you can set a roof height, and if you go up to 20, it goes over every single tile, no matter what.
That's beautiful.
Right. But they're not there. They're not at wall height yet.
So wall height allows you to go in and set heights for walls. So if I'm taller than the wall, not only can I see over the wall, but now I can climb over the wall or fly over the wall. Your character's height is actually factored into whether or not you can see over shit. Oh, and it does work with better roofs, actually. It does work with better roofs, but it also works independently of better roofs. So, for example, if Layla travels over here, she can't see all the way up onto that ledge. So if she moves here and she starts climbing up, she'll eventually get higher up on the thing, and then she'll be able to see. But now it's blocked, right? So I say, yeah, that ledge is actually 60 feet up. So then we go into Layla's sheet, and we put 60. Now, as Dom mentioned with Multilevel Token tool, you could go and set a region that automatically increases the character's height when they go there. So they wouldn't have to manually change it. As they're moving, it will increase their height for them and decrease their height as they go, which is pretty fucking cool. The tricky part there is if actors are flying, I guess, and they fly into that zone, it might like auto adjust the height of the flying.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah. So here, now that Layla is 60 feet up, she can see over all the walls and the roofs of the entire town. That's why I think it's so cool. And then also you can set negative heights for walls. So if you're down in a ravine, you might set it at negative whatever, and now you can't see out because you're just too low to see over ground zero, which is like the normal height of most walls. So I think it's like really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
By default, I think all shorts get assigned 3 feet of height, and all bigs get, or mediums get 6 feet, and then I think everything else is just random. I want to say. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know what happens when you have a large.
Yeah,
there's usually no large PCs. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, for this dragon, for example, I don't give a shit if he how tall he is, but I could, when I'm setting up his prototype token, go in and actually give him a height. And then there's even an elevation thing now. Oh, that's because of that right there. But yeah, I can tell him that, oh, this dragon's actually 20 feet tall. So now, without having his height increased, this dude can see if he had vision turned on. Here we go. He could automatically see as if he was at the elevation of 20 feet, which is really cool. So just definitely something to kind of like think about. I could probably play Foundry without wall height, but Foundry's good stuff.
It makes things a little bit easier.
Also, if you're thinking about Fantasy Grounds or Foundry, there shouldn't be any like doubt. Just go with Foundry. Like, it's, if you had to choose between those two, I would definitely say go with Foundry. I mean, Fantasy Ground, it was okay. I just don't think that it's kept up with Foundry, and Foundry's like moves so fast. I will warn you though, Foundry moves so fast. So if you're not willing to like constantly keep up with it, it could be really aggravating. And even if you are, it could be really aggravating. All right, we got three more to go.
Unless we're almost done.
Yeah. So Warp Gate. Warp Gate works with Companion Manager, so that when you summon out a companion, that companion appears in a cool way. So if this goblin could summon more goblins, we would do that. And when they appear from darkness because they're ninjas. And then we go and we click here, and a goblin appears. Whoa. Incredible. So yeah, that's what that does. It's very cool. And then we got Weather Blocker. I like Weather Blocker quite a bit. Weather Blocker, it allows you to draw a shape similar to token tool or whatever, and you could go in and say there will be no weather in this area. That's it. You just go in and you say no weather in here. So if you have a tavern and you're not using better roofs, because I think better roofs shuts down weather inside a building. Is that right?
I think if you have better roofs on, it does shut it down.
Yeah. But if you don't have better roofs to shut down weather, and you just say, hey, I want to have weather outside the house but not in the house, you could just go and we'll just pretend that this lake is the house. And we'll say this square right here. Ooh, I think actually it has to be the polygon tool. I think I read that in the notes. So you draw the area. There we go. And a perfect square. So perfect. We're going to go into text, and we're just going to put block weather. Nope, that's black weather. There we go. Block weather. There we go. And update it. Now if we turn weather on, there shouldn't be any weather inside this box. So we're going to go to Effect Controls, and we're going to go here, and we're going to go to Weather, and I'll turn on, I don't know, Rain, and kill my browser. And there you go. There's no rain happening inside that block. That's all that mod does, is it just lets you shut down weather in a specific spot. I think it's really cool. I really like it, and sometimes I don't feel like dealing with roofs. So, but I don't want to have weather. Now I have this option that I can just draw any shape I want and say you're not allowed to have weather effects here.
I'm gonna have to go install that.
Yeah, it's very good, very simple mod. Really, really like it. All right, let's turn off the weather. There we go. What's the name of the module? The module is called Weather Blocker. Weather Blocker. All right, and the last one here is your tokens visible. They're in the early days, people could.
You can get rid of that.
We thought that, but this is the one that lets me stack tokens. So if you got
the Z.
Yeah.
Oh.
So in in Roll20, if you have too many dudes stacked on top of each other, it could be a real hassle. So they had a button you would hit that would allow you to sort through the tokens to get the one that you wanted. Foundry does not have that as a default feature. So your tokens visible, it allows you to see yourself while you're invisible, but I believe that's a standard feature of Foundry 9 now. Or some other mod I'm using provides that functionality. But this mod has a secret thing that it does, and that's that it allows you to shuffle tokens. So I use Z because that's the hotkey from Roll20, and as a DM, I need to be able to get to the bottom of a stack of monsters. And so that is what this mod does. Your tokens visible allows me to shuffle the stack of monsters. We tried so many different macros, so many different mods to try to get this functionality in Foundry. I have found that your tokens visible is the best way to shuffle through your tokens when they're stacked on top of each other. All right, and that's all I got. Those are the mods that I use. All 140-ish mods. I think it's 140. I think I closed 2 of them down. I don't know. You hear 140 and you think, oh man, Crash has so many mods. His game must run like shit. Why does he have all those mods? He must be doing some real crazy stuff. It must be like a video game up in there. No, that's not it at all. Why I have these mods, almost every decision I make on a mod is, does it make running the game easier for me? That is the number one thing. Does it make running the game easier? I don't care if it makes the game cooler. I don't care if it makes it more like a video game. That's not my goal. I want to make sure that I can run the game easily. So to that end, it is almost all user interface mods. Things that just make it easier to build and run content in Foundry. That is why I have so many mods. The second thing I look for is, does it make Foundry run better for everybody? So that's like the laptop one, the potato one, things like that. Another thing I look for is, does it make Foundry easier for my players to use? And then that's that. Only after I've considered, does it make it easier for me to run Foundry? Does it make it easier for computers to run Foundry? And does it make it easier for players to use Foundry? Then I might be like, okay, is it cool? I only have a handful of mods that I'm like, this is fun and cool, and I want to use it. Splatter is a totally optional. I have it in there because it makes it look cool. Token mod, token FX, any of the JB animation stuff. That's all things that, like, I guess if I had to get rid of something, I could get rid of those. They don't make it necessarily easier to run the game. They just make the game more immersive and more fun. But I still want to keep them. Every mod that I just went over in the last six hours and change, I have a reason for it being there, and I like those mods. Yeah. And
a lot of those for fun mods, it's credit to the reason why we picked them is because a lot of them are very optional. Like all the animation stuff, you have to put in the work to make the animation be useful. And if somebody wants to have it, that's an option for them to, you know, if it helps them. But it's also not necessary, and it's not forced on anybody.
Right.
By having the mod installed. Same thing with the token effects. I mean, yeah, we kind of set it up so that, you know, if you caught on fire, you automatically turn on fire, and that's kind of forced on people. But like, you know, there's settings to turn off the animations on that, and that's some of the mods that we picked up, like the potato and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're looking at this mod list of 140 mods, and it seems like really intimidating, know that I use these mods specifically for ease of use and functionality. There's, again, only a handful of mods that I use that are about pimping the game and trying to make the game like super cool. I know of people that have hundreds and hundreds of mods. I would not want to live that nightmare. The more mods you have, the more likely shit is to break. The less mods you use, honestly, the better time I think everyone's going to have with your Foundry game, just because you're not going to be fearing every single update that something breaks and something doesn't work anymore. That being said, I wouldn't want to have to get rid of any of the mods that I currently have. I like them all, and I think they all serve a useful purpose. So, yeah. All right. Well, I'm done. I'm going to go grab some lunch. I'll be back later tonight. I'm going to be prepping for Odyssey Prime. It's going to be level 16 plus gameplay. We're going to have the first session after 6 weeks of not playing. This second campaign second half of the campaign, post-campaign, is going to run level 16 through 20 and hover at 20 for a little while. It's going to be ridiculous, godlike stuff. I can't go into any more details right now, but if you like high-level play, and I guess some people do, you might want to check it out and see what we're getting up to. It will have all the spoilers for Odyssey of the Dragon Lord campaign. So if you don't want that campaign spoiled, don't tune into this level 16 post-campaign.
Tune in, Dan.
No, you definitely cannot, because we're going to reference every spoiler and build off of every spoiler and everything that happened in the previous campaign. But it is going to be pretty bananas. I mean, average bad guys have got like 600 plus health. You know, armor classes in the 25s, the 30s. People are swinging with plus 18s, and you know, it's just dumb.
Oh my goodness!
It's just stupid. It's dumb. So, anyways, if you're into that kind of stuff,
you're going all the way up to 20,
and we're going all the way to 20 and hanging out at 20 for a while. So,
holy moly!
Yeah. So that's going to be tonight. Tomorrow night, nothing in particular. Wednesday is going to be the first night of Monster Hunter. Dom's going to be DMing, and I'm going to be playing, so I'm looking forward to that. Thursday, we continue Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Friday, nothing official. Saturday, we got more Red Hand of Doom. And then Sunday, we resume Mythic Odyssey. More than likely going to check out the Amazon Nation of Themis. So, we'll see what happens. Maybe. All right. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of the day. And if I don't see you later today, I will see you next time.
Take care.
Oh, I can't find the ending thing again because it's not labeled the end. Hold on. Stream ending. Sweet. There we go.